XBI Podcast.
We're live.
Xbox International.
Welcome to Xbox International. Episode 3 of Brian the Banished. Good to see you guys this evening. So nice to have you guys here. We've got an awesome show for you guys tonight. And we've got our awesome co-hosts right here. I've got Mr. Crazy Louie. How are you doing today, bud?
Hello, my dear brother Brian. I am doing awesome, man. I'm really happy that today is Wednesday and that we are finally here. I am very excited for this episode. It's time to get banished. Yeah.
We could only be so lucky, right?
Yes, we can.
And then going just off to your side, we've got Mr. Joanna Dark. Mr. Dark,
Hey.
how are you doing today, bud?
I am doing great. I can't wait to find out why they call you Brian the Banished. But no, I'm great. As you can see, I'm holding this trophy because I completed 2 games that I was excited about.
Nice. Nice.
I completed Dying Light, so I am ready for Dying Light 2. That's the first one.
Okay.
And then I finally finished Horizon on PC. Fantastic. I cannot wait to jump in on my birthday to take on Skynet. That's what I'm going to say. I don't want to ruin it for everyone. But overall, as you can see, I got my Gaming for Everyone shirt because, of course, gaming is for everyone. And just overall, just happy. I got this at a GameStop. I've been hunting for this. So, achievement unlock.
That is awesome.
I got my Wandering Dutch shirt.
I need to get one of those.
Yeah, too bad you don't look as cool with no beard.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Crazy, but Dutch pulls it off better, bud.
This should call you the beard. You should be called the Beerless Dutch.
Beardless Dutch. I do have a question for you real quick about that achievement trophy. Does it light up? Does it have any LEDs or anything to it?
It does. It lights up. I just haven't connected it. I just actually
That's awesome.
took it out of the box as the show was going on, and I said, you know what? I gotta see this. Look at
That's
that.
awesome.
That's cool.
It's so shiny.
I
So
mean, this is
new.
how I feel now that Call of Duty is coming to the Xbox platform. Look at that. Ooh.
You know what would be kind of cool if you can hook it up to your Xbox like via USB, and every time you get an achievement, it lights up or something like that.
Oh, that would be a cool. I'm
that'd be
gonna
kinda
put that
dope.
in the feedbacks. Yeah.
So actually, going back to this fine gentleman right over here, we've got Sour Blow Gaming in here with us. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Excited for episode number 3 with the Banish. As Joanna said, one day we'll find out how he got that nickname, but it's for
It's a story
another
you'll never
episode.
Awesome.
I mean, hey, Duke Nukem Forever came out, so we'll definitely find out.
Yeah.
yeah, it could happen eventually. It's just going to have a bunch of delays and a couple swaps on devs and a couple cancellations, but we'll get there.
Okay.
So, going into the show tonight, we actually had some things pop off over the last couple days I definitely want to talk about. We've got some exciting stuff, but the first thing that I want to jump into right off the bat, obviously we've been talking about acquisitions, we've been talking about the ActiBliz situation. So I want to jump into Activision's next 3 Call of Duty games being on PlayStation and Xbox. So just with a little bit of context on this whole thing, there's been the fight about, oh, this isn't going to be there, this is going to be there. It's been a big, heated topic. And I think, correct me if I'm speaking for you guys, if I'm misspeaking for you, but I think the understanding was that they would, just like the Bethesda situation, they would honor the contracts that were previously formed. And once those contracts were done and everything was sorted, then we would see exclusives, be it Call of Duty or whatever the title is. Mr. Joanna Dark, I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, no, I saw that today. That the next 3 Call of Duties were still going to be apparently coming to other platforms, and I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the ink is not dry, right? This is still ongoing, and overall, until we finally see that ink there and it's official, then everything's go. But who knows? Again, it can be something that after this, things get renegotiated. I mean, there's always changes that can happen, and I can see where I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't predict things, but you know, I would like to see maybe a reimagining again after these three deals, because that means that even if it comes back and it stays multi-platform or not, I want Call of Duty to take a break, and I want it to kind of reinvent itself, meaning that I want the developers to have the time to be able to get us a game and make us feel like we used to love those. Remember those COD, uh, campaigns? You were like, okay,
Like
I'm gonna
Modern
get
Warfare.
the campaign, and then I'm gonna go into that multiplayer. And I hope that after whatever deals are there, that they will honor that eventually, it does. But overall, I mean, look at Bethesda, right? I know if I invested X amount of money on any type of thing, I definitely want to do that because I want to continue to improve my platform and continue to, Game Pass is a platform and continue to provide great content to that platform so that people can come back. There's a lot of different markets out there um, that are mobile first, browser first, however you want to call it. And the console is not the main box that they play on. So, uh, I can see new IPs and other things coming, down the road where it comes specifically like Starfield to the Xbox platform.
And so I guess I'll add the caveat as well. Again, correct me if I'm misspeaking for any of you guys, but I think there was also the assumption stuff. So obviously, legacy titles, things have already been there. Those are going to be there. They'll be supported. So you've got your stuff like the Warzone, your free to play type of situation. Obviously, that stuff is going to continue and live on in that ecosystem. And potentially with this 3 Call of Duty deal, I mean, we could easily see Warzone 2. I want to say what we started seeing some rumor or some leak about that possibly happening, a Warzone 2, which be obviously a map refresh and all that type of stuff. So obviously with that in mind as well, during this talk is like, of course, we're going to see the legacy titles on there. They're not going to get snatched away and taken off of the service. But I agree very much with you on that in the fact that we need to have kind of a reimagining. I think it would be great for, go back to the drawing board. But Sour Blow, what do you think about it?
Yeah, well, I went off on it yesterday long enough, but yeah, it's kind of like I thought it would be exactly like the Bethesda deal. Everything that's on, like Warzone, the current Call of Duty, Vanguard, well, all the ones that have been already out, they will stay there. Probably the next one or two, according to the contracts, they will be,
Right.
they would stay on the other platforms. And then after that, it's all gonna be exclusive. That's what I thought. The newer Call of Duties. The one thing I do think caught me a little by surprise is that they kind of hint on a possible Warzone 2, which I don't know what they're really planning with that, but there's a Warzone 2 supposedly, and that might come to PlayStation. But
I think especially where the ink hasn't dried yet and nothing's even been done, like the ink hasn't even been put on the paper. So I think if there's a Warzone 2 that's already in talks, that thing's probably been in dev for what, couple years? You could say it's
yeah,
probably fair. It's been out and about. And so any deals that happened, most likely Warzone 2 is probably included that. But I mean, who can say, right? Like we don't know for sure how that'll go. But crazy, what do you think about it? Do you think it's going to be exclusive to it, or is it still going to be multi-plat?
We had this argument, me and Sour Blow, yesterday. I think if these guys sit down and talk, it could be still multiply. I don't know. I think it can happen because we got 2 more years to go. So maybe they sit down and talk and you know get facts straight. Sony probably say, okay, here are my numbers. Let's see what happens, and If Microsoft says, okay, let's go for it, then it can happen. But if they take it away, then that's business. You know, that's how it is. But we got 2 more years to go, and I don't know what might happen. Maybe it can, maybe it cannot. So we gotta wait till Microsoft talks about it, because I think yesterday we read there was a report about those 2 year contracts. Was it yesterday or was it today? I think it came out yesterday. And Microsoft did not say anything else. They did not comment for the moment. So we gotta wait till they comment and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think obviously, again, sorry to harken back again and again to it, but Bethesda definitely gave us kind of a benchmark of how this whole situation could run out, right?
Yeah.
Is Phil has it set how he wants this. You know, like it's like extreme level chess, right? You're thinking 10 steps ahead in these type of processes because you're dealing with so much money. So you figure they have the next 5 whatever years probably tentatively planned out and kind of figured out of what they'd like to do.
Yeah.
But obviously, because again, no pen to paper yet, there's nothing that's beneficial yet, and the deal's not done. So Phil can't start saying, okay, this is what's going to happen right now. There's, you have to wait until you are the owner before you can start making those changes. No, obviously we saw some of the changes, like some of the HR side of things going down immediately. As soon as the deal was announced, a lot of people were given pink slips. Stuff like that will happen, obviously. People will depart, but nothing is final yet. So we're obviously not going to hear anything confirmed and finalized by Microsoft until this thing goes through.
Brian,
Yeah.
you know what I would like to hear more too? And
What's that?
I would love for more coverage on how the people now, if this goes through, how they feel. You know, how
Yeah.
this is going to be great for a lot of reasons, you know.
Right.
One of the
You're
things that I
talking
think,
about the actual devs at the studios.
correct, you know,
Yeah.
and I told this the other day in Boom, and I'll tell a little bit additional story, right? I worked at a certain retail store for amount of years. I'm at the Microsoft store, and there was a time in one of the stores where the person that we had in charge just wasn't the leader that we needed at the time, and it created a culture that wasn't as great because of the fact that, you know, the person who was leading our store wasn't being what we expect from a leader, from the culture that Microsoft built. You know, I drank the Kool-Aid the first day I joined Microsoft in 2010. And one of the key things that I always loved about Microsoft was the culture. Coming from the military, camaraderie was the biggest thing, and leaving no person behind, and kind of just that whole thing. And I can tell you, I was ready to quit in 2012, because at a specific location that I was working at, it just wasn't working out. And literally, the day that I was deciding to make that tough decision, it hurt. It was hurt. I mean, I was heartbroken because I love working for Microsoft, right? My regional manager comes in and says, "Hey, let's talk." And we talk, and he tells me, I'm not gonna accept your resignation because I'm not gonna lose you and the rest of the team that's more valuable than one person that just doesn't fit well into our culture." And then I got the leader that I needed to not only inspire me to be better and continue my career as I am right now, but also inspire my team. Um, and that's what I look at this position. Who, regardless of whoever, let's just say Nintendo, Sony, whoever was the player right now that I think it's a positive thing to change the culture, because that's going to unlock creativity. That's going to unlock the people that want to come to work every day and give us the things that we love. And I think, this whole thing about exclusivity, about games, yeah, it's cool. I get it. Trust me, we all love it. Especially coming as a Nintendo lover myself, being, Nintendo is better than Sega. But, that was the whole thing, right? That was the whole thing. And then vice versa. But I definitely want to hear more stories, more positive stories. I hope that some of the people that are working at Activision Blizzard, as things get, closer, things close, we can hear some of those great stories of how they feel. And I think that'll be great. Maybe we can have some people within content creation, within the industry, kind of talk to those people and tell them how they feel versus always focusing on certain things when it comes to like, oh, well, is it going to be exclusive? You know, I think we can take away sometimes of those kind of like tangible plastic boxes and think about the human beings behind doing these things for us. And I would definitely, like I said before, I want to see those great stories come out and talk about positive things.
Yeah, I want to touch on that just a little bit more. Obviously we talked about it last week. This whole thing was fresh right then. It just happened. It was a big thing. And going back to kind of what we were talking about last week and what I had mentioned is human aspect of this whole situation, just like you touched base on too, is I, you know, it's one thing and it's really easy to get into the fanboy side of it and get into the console war side of it of, oh man, they got this big company and blah blah blah, mine's better than yours, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, we got to think about the people that are making these games for us and the people that were affected the most in this change. Like obviously, yes, we get different games, we get more games, maybe we'll see new stuff and return of stuff that we've always really enjoyed. But it's those people that have been working in a really bad environment and that hopefully now will see some sort of recovery from that and see some some semblance of normalcy. And I think that's a really great thing to highlight, honestly, because it is very easy to just say, and look at the numbers and just think, oh man, $69 billion, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's the people behind that are going to get us the games at the end of the day. And hopefully this is a great sea change for them. And hopefully, like you said, we do see more of those stories moving forward.
Yeah. Another thing.
Before we move on to sorry, go Sauerblom.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, real quick, I was just gonna say that another thing is there's a lot of these devs or a lot of these producers or artists that they have left already Activision Blizzard because of the situation. Some of them have went, to form their own studios. Some of them have went to work to other studios, and I'm wondering now, if things change around, if Microsoft is able to flip things around, what do they think too? Like, would they be willing to come back? Because, people that have maybe left, formed their own studio, COVID hasn't been, great, So I don't know are they doing well or, that's kind of all plays into all of this. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely a big thing, right? Is, a lot of people obviously have departed over time. We've seen some good things that came to the whole situation and into the company, right? Like they got Mike Ibarra, they got Rod Ferguson, they got some new talent and leadership that honestly that company's needed for a long time. And hopefully, they've been able to retain some of those people. But I couldn't fault anyone if they had left the company at the time because of how things were. The trajectory was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And it basically became a Call of Duty machine, is what it did at the end of the day. And it was hard to watch, right? Like as a fan of a company that was that's a Goliath. And granted, they are still very much a Goliath in the industry. But the fall from grace that we ended up seeing. We saw stuff like Diablo suffer delays and pushback and loss of development team. We saw all these different games get completely shuttered. Crash Bandicoot 4 was really cool, and I just started diving into that a bunch. I'm enjoying it. And it's really frustrating to see all of them basically get conglomerated into just a Call of Duty factory. So hopefully they still have those folks. Hopefully they have a lot of talent still there. And if not, maybe they can get some of those people back. If they see that change is there, maybe Microsoft can see more people come back. But it looks like we actually have a question. Mr. Dark, do you want to cover that?
Yeah. So Jay Vargas in the chat says, will Microsoft recognize the union that Raven has reportedly formed? I know today in an article in Bloomberg, something came about that the owner's not. Unfortunately, Jay Vargas, I'm not in those type of talks, so I have nothing that I can really comment on that. I guess I'll leave it up to the people above me to kind of do that. And the only thing I can say about that is, like we were talking right now, right? The whole deal about focusing so much on whether they're exclusive or not. Activision is still currently right now under Bobby Kotick. So
Right.
in the sense of that, I'm going to let people at that level handle that. And unfortunately, as much as I would love to answer that question, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't. But real quick, I know Crazy Lou, you're ready to shout some people out.
Yes,
So before I do that, hey, Crazy Lou, let's go.
Yes, I got the energy right now to shout out to these awesome people in this chat. First off, to RDM, welcome my brother to the show. Tony Grasso is here. Hello, my brother Tony. Oh man, who else? Jay Vargas. Hello, Jay Vargas. How are you, sir? Also, we have the Wandering Dutch. Dutch, look, I have your shirt on. Look at me. Oh, nice and buff. I love this shirt. It makes me look like I am a Hulk.
But you don't have his beard. But you have the Dutch beard, so.
Oh man, why y'all gotta kill my flow, man? I mean, seriously, I've been trying to get my flow on. Y'all kill it like that. That's not cool.
Beardless Dutch.
Beardless Dutch.
Who else is here to say hello? Internal Opera, how are you, sir? Oh, my shovel brother. Oh, Sean is here also. Welcome to you, sir. And as always, our captain is here, Sasablo. Say hello to your captain right there.
Oh, Elvio.
Yep, he's here.
I don't know how to say it in English.
He is our captain in Sea of Thieves. So yeah, guys, good to see you all here. Also, Juan Miguel over there is here. What's up, man? How you doing, sir? So guys, keep on going. Let's go. Get into this.
So okay,
Man,
so going to
really
sorry,
quick.
go ahead.
Sorry, Brian.
No,
So,
you're good.
so I think Stuff Sean had a good question, and that's something that I was wondering too. One of the things that I did ask when I heard about this was, Tencent did own a percentage in Activision Blizzard, and Stuff Sean asked, what is his? I'm sorry, let me go back up here real quick. Where is Stuff Sean? It's right over here. Yeah,
he asked him.
How does that work with the buyout? Who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure if anything, they probably get paid. They get bought out of their shares as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's most likely what happens.
That would be my guess. Obviously, I'm no expert in it, but based on other reports and other acquisitions and stuff like this I've seen in the past, it feels like usually it's okay. Here's your payout for this situation. I doubt we'd see Tencent or something invest in Microsoft in the process as part of that, and change that money in hand towards Microsoft and just have it as stake in there. But usually it's just they pay him off, and I think it's just kind of a handshake and done deal. But again, I'm not a professional on that. I'm just going off of stuff I've seen in the past.
Bro,
But I know what we are professional on. So the talk has always been on COD, right? But I want to know from this panel, right? Look at the IPs that they have, and what IPs would you love to, if you can tell Phil and he says, okay, I'm going to grant you this wish, which of one of the IPs would you like to come back? So you know what? Let's start with well, I'm not going to go with Sourblue because he's just going to say some nonsense that he always says. But I'm going to start with you, Crazy Lou.
What was Sourblue
nonsense?
doing?
I don't know. He talks nonsense. He talks about these games that don't exist. I don't know. He has some issues.
You told me. You said the question was if we can
talking about
Phil
he's
to
talking
do
about
whatever.
Has a
you know how there's an
star
origin
in
story? Yeah, there's origins of who was the first vampire or the first zombie, right? Patient Zero, right?
What are you even talking about? No.
First NFT, Star Citizen. The game that he paid for but has never played.
Why you always got to bring that up?
Real quick before you jump into that, Dutch makes the comment of as it is a complete buyout, they're minority shareholders. Microsoft will be buying that sharehold out too.
There you go.
Yeah. So
thank you, Dutch, for that.
Yes, thank you. Sour. So where were we at? Let's
No,
go
no.
back.
So I'm going to crazy. I'm going to crazy.
He,
So
he,
here's
he
the
wants to go to
question.
crazy
Okay,
first.
ask the question again. Yes,
So here's
because
the question.
I was totally lost. I was like, what?
So Crazy Lou,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Phil Spencer comes and tells you, "Hey, Crazy, what's
Correct.
one game you want to come back from the IPs from Blizzard? What game would you want?
You are
What
asking me
game?
what game?
What game would you want, and what developer out of all
You
the
ask-
developers that Microsoft
Man,
has?
I'm gonna tell you something. I've been saying it everywhere. I want a Chuck Norris game. That's what I want right now. Give me
No,
Chuck Norris game.
But that's
that doesn't
It's not a
count.
game
that
that
doesn't
counts
count.
back.
That is-
That
that is-
doesn't
what, are y'all,
count.
what are y'all killing me with my Chuck Norris game? I want to be Chuck Norris.
We're talking about
We're
Activision
talking
Blizzard.
about reality. We're not talking about look. No Chuck Norris game. No Star Citizen. None of that. They don't exist.
Oh man. Oh man. But if I want, oh man, from Blizzard, wow, there's a bunch of them, man. I mean, you got Blackthorn. I used to love that game in Super Nintendo, and I have it on my Super. It's right here, my little Super Nintendo mini. I have it right there. I was playing it the other day. I love that game. That game is so much fun. Really, it is.
Who would you give it?
Also-
Who would you give it to? Who would you give?
would it-
Remember, only one. Only one. So you said
Oh.
Blackthorn. Only one.
But the thing is, I don't know how to do. I don't know how can we bring back Thorn to like, because it was like Prince of Persia back in the day. But you
Okay.
know, so when Prince of Persia came back, you know, it was a lot more easier to do a Prince of Persia game because you can jump on walls, do that stuff. But Blackthorn was like a tough dude with a shotgun shooting stuff. But can I have another choice though? Because it's an old game. I just want
don't
to.
be-
Yeah.
You're trying to be like Pong Soul. Trying to like,
No.
name all the
Just,
IPs here.
I'll just say one more. Just say one more. I mean, seriously. You know, so the other day, you know Warhammer, right? Warhammer. They have a third-person type of game. So it would be pretty cool if StarCraft did a third-person type of game. Like I think it was StarCraft Ghost that was going to be a third-person type of
Correct.
game.
Yes.
Yeah. So they need to do that because StarCraft is a big universe, and they need to really, really, really do that. If they do that, it's going to be a pretty awesome game. So that's my thoughts on what Activision Blizzard should bring, and also Chuck Norris game. Keep going.
No.
Oh man.
Anyway, you know, what about you, Brian? The Banished, Silent.
You know, I'm with crazy. Okay, I would love to see a Chuck Norris game. I get that. I get you. I get you there. Unfortunately, though, I just don't see it in the cards. You know, one game that did obviously we've talked about in the past. Metal Gear Solid was a big one for me when I was a kid.
Oh man.
But one of the games that I always really enjoyed and I played a ton of when I was a kid was Tony Hawk. And so when Tony Hawk 1 and 2 came out and we got that remake, I was so happy. And I was like, okay, finally this is a good step in the right direction. They're going to use this, they're going to basically test the audience and see, okay, does this have legs still? In this time frame, can we still make a skateboard game that's actually going to sell? And I felt like this one did a really good job. It was, as far as reviews go and everything, it was critically successful. Everyone really enjoyed it as far as the actual users. It was a good experience for everyone. And it's a hard one, right? Because the thing is like, I feel like the team that did the remake did a great job. I think if I could bring it back though, because that's my choice, is Tony Hawk. I would love to get back the original Neversoft team, so we could do a fresh Tony Hawk. And again, I think this goes back to the whole human perspective of the company, right? Like potentially, what if you're able to get some of those folks back? What if they're still in the industry to some extent and they've wanted to make that Tony Hawk that they never got to make back in the day? Or what if you still have some of those guys and they're just doing support for Call of Duty or something? I think it'd be really cool to see Neversoft come back and actually make, even if it was just like a remake of Tony Hawk in general, and they brought some new features in, or even if it was just more remasters at this point, I would be okay with more remasters even. I love the Tony Hawk franchise. So that's for me.
Real quick, before we go to Sour Blow, I just want to give a shout out to 1 Hour, One Decision. If you haven't seen their content, I love it. You know, they take a Game Pass title and they go ahead and play it, and then they tell you if it's worth your time. I also saw them stream Alien Fire Team, and it was a blast. So definitely go check them out. Really great content as well. Now let's go to Sour Blow. And Sour Blow, remember, things that exist. I'm talking about like things that actually people played, not some fantasy like Chuck Norris game over here. But,
Okay.
we got Starfield. I don't know about Star Citizen, but the only star I know is Starfield.
Okay.
Why
well,
y'all making fun of my Chuck Norris game? Can you imagine Chuck Norris game, man? He's like,
It'd be great.
Oh, man.
I'm there with you.
That'll
With
be
his,
all
with, his
right.
with his skimpy jeans on and his boots kicking butt, man. Hell
No.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Crazy Loot, there is a game. It's called Two Crude Dudes. Look it up. It's by Data East.
Oh, there you go. You
That's
got your
called
game
Bad
right there.
Dudes. It's not Two Cool Dudes. It's called Bad Dudes. I played that game back in the day.
Okay, Bad Dudes.
You got
the
your
same
game.
thing.
Crazy.
Yes.
Anyway, one of my favorite game, if not my favorite game, is Warcraft 3. And even though I would love a Warcraft 4, being realistic, as a RTS fan, I think if they would go the RTS route, they would do that with StarCraft. So, being that they won't do 2 RTS games, I don't think they would do that. What I would like, which I think is the next best thing, it might even be the best thing, is I would like an Arthas Menethil story game. It could be an action RPG, kind of like The Witcher 3, where you go with Arthas as a human and his whole process to becoming the Lich King. And then you can also, maybe you can make a part 2 where you play it with him as the Lich King, or just the whole game be like him first, the first part human, and then after that him as the Lich King. I think that would be day one for me, and I would spend hours and hours playing that game because I love that story.
So you know what Jay Vargas said, that they actually need to bring that back. He says with all the new mascots on board, why not a mascot brawler, Crash Kart Racer with the same mascots? That would be a pretty good idea. And seriously, I've seen you guys on Twitter talking about it. They really need to bring all these cool mascots back. They need to bring Banjo-Kazooie. They need to bring Conker back. They need to bring all those games and just do something with them, because we need those. We miss those games. We actually miss them. All right, what we have right now is only, what is it, Psychonauts and Ratchet and Clank. That's all we have for now. So it'll be a pretty cool idea if they bring all those guys back. We need them back. We miss those type of games with a good story to it. I don't know if you guys agree with me.
Yeah. One quick thing, John. After you say whatever game you were going to say, if it's not the game that you're gonna say, can I mention one more game that I think would be great?
Besides the one that you just said, which is called Lord of the Rings, sure, I'll give it to you.
No, not Lord of the Rings.
No. I'm just saying. Would you explain
Arthas
the whole
Menethil.
Lich King was based? Yeah. That sounds like Lord of the Rings.
No, you gotta play Warcraft 3.
I know. I'm just messing with you, man.
Warcraft 3 was really good. To be fair, it was.
Oh yeah,
a
no,
lot
it
of fun.
is. Oh, Warcraft.
Especially the tower defense mode.
Oh, but that's more the multiplayer. You mean like
Yeah. But that was so good.
But you played through the story, both of them. There was the Reign of Chaos, and then there was the Frozen Throne. It was
Mostly,
like an expansion.
I was more of a StarCraft guy.
Okay. I was more of a Warcraft guy. So I played some of StarCraft, but I don't remember the story, kind of like it with Warcraft.
So, Juan Miguel actually brings up a good question. Oh, do you want to jump in real quick?
No. We have a couple of questions. I think before we get to Juan Miguel, we have a couple of questions I think that people ask. Let's. So the first one was I think it was Tony Grasso.
Okay.
And I think he said, what are my duties or title at MS? Yeah. So yeah, I don't mind. My title is I'm a customer experience program manager at Xbox. And what that fancy word means is that I work on the services side of Xbox. So when you look at the back end, like Xbox Live, basically the platform, our support site, all those things that you interact with, flighting. So, people that are insiders that are there kind of testing stuff out and testing new builds. I work as part of the entire team to make sure that we're always up and we're always basically making sure that you guys are having a great time and that the services that you're enjoying are up and running. So when you guys are providing us that feedback and letting us know that, hey, there's something wrong. We're in the background always knowing what's going on with titles and so forth, making sure, hey, we know people are saying, hey, when is Rainbow Six coming out? Well, hey, unless you're in New Zealand, it's not coming out yet on the East Coast. So yeah, that's kind of my job. So in a sense, I'm kind of all spread across this entire services organization within Xbox to kind of make sure that we're providing solutions, not just to one person, but many. So if you tell me, hey, my Game Pass, I can't install Doom Eternal on Game Pass. I'm the person that sometimes looks into those issues to see what's going on in the back end of why somebody cannot install or maybe get into their services.
So if you have any issues, go to him. It's his problem. Yeah, it's his fault.
Don't add it, Jason Ronald. Please do not do that either, because then it'll just come back to us. And I think what other question did we have that we might have missed? Was that it, or was it? Oh, do we have Juan Miguel as the next one?
Yeah, so Juan Miguel had one too. He said, so it says Microsoft has so many studios, but what happens with the games? Because they don't give continuity to the franchises, just Halo and Forza. Okay, gotcha. But nothing with so many studios. So I'd be very curious as to what your opinions are. It looks like you're ready to jump onto it. So, Mr. Dark, go for it.
Sure. I mean, that's a great question, and I think it's a great question. So what Juan Miguel is kind of referring to is prior to Bethesda and kind of building up these studios, many of the titles that we had were first party was Forza, right? The Gears franchise. And of course, Halo, which is kind of, on the top of Mario and many of those iconic characters. Mm-hmm. And we also cannot forget we have State of Decay, Flight Sim, and many other titles that were there. We have Quantum Break, we had Alan Wake, and all these things. Now that we got these titles, there have been games. As we knew, Deathloop was there, Tokyo that went to Sony, and Starfield. And just like anything, right? Unfortunately, the pandemic hit, the state of the world. So there's a lot of games that are still in the oven that are coming out. And we've seen it this past year. Whether you're a PC player with Ages of Empire, we saw it with Flight Sim on both console. Gears Tactics came out because it was on the PC. We got Halo Infinite was there. Psychonauts. So we're getting the titles that are there. And in addition to that, we're going to get more. But like everyone else, right? On Sony, on Nintendo side, we've had to wait a little bit because of the fact of what is gone with the world. But there is continuity in the sense of they're going to continue franchises. But again, we can't get to Starfield 2 if there's ever going to be another Starfield. We haven't got Starfield 1. We can't get to to Gears 7 if there's no Gears 6 or Psychonauts 3 right now with Psychonauts 2. So my thing to answer best that question is, like Phil has said, right? The games are coming. They're there. And slowly we're going to see. We got Redfall. We have Avowed. And we still have a lot of games that haven't been announced. And just because we haven't seen them doesn't mean they're not there. And that's also on the side of Sony and Nintendo. We still don't know when Breath of the Wild's coming out. We still don't know when God of War's coming out. But the games are coming. And you can also see that on third party, we're getting delays because of what's still going on in the world. And now the fact that Microsoft has these studios, they can definitely churn out whatever they want. If they want to make a AAA game, and they can do what the Coalition's doing, which is a small game. And that kind of breaks it up. And I'm going to, stop there and get, Brian, what do you think about it, about that question?
So I think you're like you were saying, obviously, like we'd have to get Starfield 1 to get Starfield 2, do stuff like that. I'm definitely for, getting more of the continuity and seeing more of the sequels so we can actually see those stories continue on. But for me, I think one thing I love getting these sequels to the games and stuff, right? Like I love seeing what's going on in Gears. The Halo Infinite was a lot of fun to jump into and see that story play out. But honestly, for me, I get that, but I also would really like to see those new teams hit new IPs as well. I love remasters, and I was just talking about with Tony Hawk. I'd love to see even just some remasters at this point. Obviously, that's not very story focused, with the exception of Officer Dick and some of those characters like Private Carrera and stuff. That's about as far as they ever went as far as story on those games. But I would like some new IP. Like, yes, it would be cool to see more of that continuity continue as we see more sequels. But I want to see more new IP personally. If we're shifting into that side of it. I don't know if that answers your question fully, but
I think, I mean, Crazy Sour, do you have anything to say as well?
You want me to jump? Oh,
You
okay.
want to jump? Yeah.
Well, adding to that real quick, I think also that one thing is that, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of the Xbox franchises, besides the main ones that, who was it? Juan that mentioned it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, besides the one he mentioned, they either have been franchises that have been like long forgotten, or franchises that, you know, have been played like a long time ago. And you can't just grab an old like franchise like Fable, for example. The next Fable is gonna be kind of a reboot, because like you can't just continue like a game the same way that it played when it's like a, you know, completely like old franchise that played a different way. You know, if you kind of continue it, you know, people might not just like it because it's kind of like, you know, old control input and all that. You know, you gotta change a lot of these franchises around. We see that Perfect Dark, for example, is another example. They're bringing it back, but they're rebooting it because, you know, you just don't want to play the same old game, even though they were great at their time. I mean, the first Perfect Dark in N64 was one of my favorite games, but you know, I don't envision myself playing a Perfect Dark that plays the same way that one plays. So, you know, they have to
Sour
build.
Blow. Prey's another good example. Prey was a regular first-person shooter,
Yes.
similar to kind of,
Yeah.
kind of like what we used to do from id. And look at Prey that Arcane made, which was still first-person, but it was more stealthy, kind of that Deus Ex kind of real,
Correct.
Immersive sim. Excuse me.
Yeah. So yeah, basically a lot of these games have to evolve. And even, you know, even the franchise that they're getting from, like, say, Activision Blizzard, like Spyro, like, I don't think if they bring Spyro back, it will be the same Spyro as, you know, the old Spyro. You know, they'll have to like innovate a little bit, you know, make it a little bit more fresh. And that's what's gonna have to happen with a lot of these franchises. They might have to revive. And then I agree with Brian. I want them also to bring new IP. So I think if they bring a mixture of both, that will make everyone happy.
real quick, I just want to jump back into that real fast. I definitely think that, like you're saying too, you know, we go back to these games and we have memories of these games as just being amazing, and all the experience about it is great. It's like if we go to Phantasmagoria, if we go back to Clive Barker's Undying, stuff like that, we have the memories of that being an amazing experience. But once you go back, the controls alone do not
Yes.
hold up to what we're used to nowadays.
Yes,
Because things have changed so much. Like, we have controller inputs that have so much functionality now that you can jam into a controller or on a keyboard, and people have learned to refine the control schemes for these games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, just to add on to what I was saying, is it's just, if they're gonna do it, it's almost got to be a reboot or remake, you know, like a refresh on it, because otherwise, like, you're never gonna catch that same zeitgeist that you had, and that, you know, that game that you remember. It just doesn't hold up the same way.
Definitely.
Well, what I was gonna say to Juan Miguel's comment that he asked, though, I mean, if you look on all sides, this is that we're gonna get into this really detailed right now. You look on all sides, right? What did PlayStation do last year? Basics. They brought how many director's cut? 2. they brought a remaster now, which was Uncharted. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna bring up their old games. They're gonna go do a couple of director's cut and stuff because right now, because of the COVID situation, games are getting moved and are getting further moved out because they're working on them remotely. They're not working on them together. If they were working on together, like in the studio, like what they basically do, I mean, games would be probably a on time or a little delay. But right now, these guys are delaying games way over there. Like for example, look at the issue with Stalker 2. They delayed the game right now, and now they have another issue that it
Oh
could get
yes.
canceled if they invade Ukraine. So if Ukraine gets invaded, there's no Stalker 2. That's it. It's out. Stalker 2 is gone.
I need to send the Navy SEALs to go rescue them.
Yeah, no, yeah. We need to
Seal
go rescue them.
6.
I mean,
I'm about to go get my buddies. Be like, hey, we need to go. I'm gonna go get my boots and be like, we gotta go and rescue what is it? GSC?
GSC.
Do you know how many devs they are?
20. We can easily fill them in a
20?
No, it's a little bit more than that.
We could throw them in a. We could throw them in.
Well,
I
two,
could fit
it'd be
some
fine.
of them. Some of them could fit in my basement. If
Well, we'll
any
take
of
the
them
ones
are-
that we'll
man.
divide them. We'll take I'll take a pelican. I'll take a pelican. You take a submarine, and we get in there. We get and go rescue them.
I feel like
what do you
we've gone to a
wanna put
weird
those-
place.
What do you want to go put those guys in your basement? That's just really.
Oh, my basement
So-
is nice. It's
So talking about since we're in the conversation about talking about games, right? Have any of you, and I think I forgot who said it about Sierra games. Has any of you ever played
Wow,
Gabriel Knight?
Yeah.
Gabriel
Sierra
Knight.
Games. Wow, I remember those.
Sierra Games was
so
good.
So here's my pitch to Gabriel Knight coming back. Because for people that never played Gabriel Knight is kind of like Alan Wake a little bit in the sense of not in the sense that he's an author that brings things to life what he reads, but he is a person who works in a bookstore and he solves mysterious cases. And there's a supernatural element with something like vampire hunters and demons exist. Kind of think of the Da Vinci Code, but more supernatural. I would love, because I know In Exile is great, or even Obsidian, or I'll even go as Double Fine to bring back Gabriel Knight, because I think Gabriel Knight can be two things. It can be our Alone in the Dark, which is another series that I love, Alone in the Dark. Our Edward Carnby, yes. And it can also serve as, kind of like that Alan Wake that we're missing, right? Even though we're getting Alan Wake 2. But I would love for Gabriel Knight to come back and get reimagined. And like I said, the reason I choose Double Fine is because they're, Grim Fandango is a classic. So I know if they wanted to make it like a point and click adventure, then hey, Gabriel Knight, go to Double Fine. But if you want to reimagine it into a third person kind of survival horror mystery, then give it to people that write really good, like In Exile or Obsidian, and I'm down for that right there.
Well,
just looking at-
now that you
just
mentioned
looking at
Double
those-
Fine, I did.
happened?
Now that you mentioned Double Fine, real quick, they did mention that they wanna work on their graphics. They actually wanna bump their quality on their game. Well, not the quality, more like the graphical, art.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, now that they're under, they have all this tech, all this thing that they can share, they can probably achieve that. Look what they did with Brutal Legends, Psychonauts. And yeah, 1 hour, one decision. Yep. I'm glad that you know Gabriel Knight. I felt like the only one that every time I talk, people look like crickets.
Yeah,
Dear Lord,
I saw the art now, but I haven't played
man,
it.
I used to play Police Quest SWAT. Oh man, I used to play all those old Sierra games. Oh, they were awesome.
I probably
So we-
wasted more time than I ever should have on Sierra's pinball back in the day. My God.
Yes.
I got so frustrated whenever I'd tilt that pinball machine and it would penalize me too. Oh,
Jay Vargas has a question for us. It says, at Crazy Louis Gaming, which is me, of course, and the panel, would guys be able to speculate which devs may continue to COD and which group may break off after the purchase is complete? I'm gonna be honest with you though. In my position, I would like I've said this before. They should just get a team just to work on COD, and that's it. Just make them work on COD. Dedicate yourselves to work on COD, and the other guys to work on other IPs because Activision has got a bunch of great IPs.
But I get his question is, Is it going to be Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, or Infinity Ward? Which
I
of
would put
those
it-
three?
Who made Modern Warfare? Easy.
God, I hope it's
Infinity
Sledgehammer.
Ward. But remember,
Put-
Mike Zampella's not there now. Vince Zampella's not there anymore.
No.
So that's not the same Infinity Ward. He took
Okay.
a lot of the staff to make Respawn.
Wow.
Sledgehammer is Sledgehammer's kind of the bigger one, right? Like at this point, they're kind of the more well-grounded one at this point because they
Right.
still have a majority of their devs, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I would choose Treyarch. I
Sure.
think Treyarch is good.
You were a
and
big
then-
World at War fan.
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you
Okay,
an
that game
example.
was hard.
Okay,
Okay.
give an example. Who did Warzone? Which one did Warzone? Because I'm so many Call of Duty guys are working on. One year's
Who
this
did
one.
Warzone?
I feel like that was almost a combination of a grip of the
Probably all
teams.
of them.
I'll have to do some research on that.
No, I'm gonna
Get
do it right
back
now.
to
Yeah, keep going.
Oh.
Keep going.
Hey, what's up, Big Bad Mo?
So-
Big Mad Mo. He
Big
says
Bad
Infinity
Mo.
War is the best.
Infinity War.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was Activision, Raven Software, Infinity Ward, and Nokia.
Yeah.
Nokia.
1 hour, one
Okay.
decision. Don't enable Crazy Lou with Leisure Suit Larry. That's another game.
yeah.
That's terrible.
No.
Yes.
We we don't talk about Leisure Suit Larry.
Yes.
That was a time and place.
One decision. I always talk about Leisure Suit Larry.
No.
I love that game.
Should have brought that
I remember
Big mistake.
when I was a little kid, my uncle showed me that thing, and I remember that everything was like it was 8-bit back in the 3-bit, 8-bit. I don't remember. It was just really bad bits. I remember
Two things about that story. One, the fact that he showed you as a kid. We're just going to start off there.
Hey.
Two, this is why we can't have nice things.
And that's why you enable Crazy Lou to do crazy things on Twitter because of this thing about Leisure Suit Larry here. So the next time I see Crazy doing something in his speedos, it's going to be because of this thing right here in the chat about
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Okay.
Hey.
So
Hey, it's a good
I'm-
game. And remember, back in the day, we used to watch all these rated R movies, and we used to watch Child's Play. We used to watch Jason, all that stuff. That's now they're like, oh, they can't watch this. We used to watch all that stuff. I mean, I even watched Predator as a kid.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and Aliens. Oh man, favorite franchise.
Look
Okay, so
look how you
I'm-
turned out.
I'm gonna wrangle this topic in because we got to keep moving. So
Keep moving.
in the same vein, another question that comes up in the process of all this that I want to pose to you guys is just as far as the exclusivity goes. Obviously, like in a situation like this, Bethesda, whatever, should they go exclusive with the future games, or should they maybe do something like with Activision? Obviously, the big thing that everyone's been freaking out about is that they're going to hold on to the games. They're going to be on both systems. But should they hold on to them and keep them exclusive? Or should they try and do something like an exclusivity window? Kind of much akin to like Tomb Raider or the recent Final Fantasy, where, you've got a 1 to 2 year window and then the game goes over to the other systems.
Did we get a release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Well, no. So that one's still.
I was like, what?
So
When?
So that one
you know what it is?
originally was
It's-
supposed to be
it's
like a
1
year.
in an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Originally, it was
dimension.
supposed to be what, like a year, and then it got extended.
A year
to like
in
a
Earth 2.
year.
Earth 2. Remember, it's the
Yeah,
metaverse and all that.
Yeah,
the multiverse.
exactly.
So in the
It
multiverse,
was
it's
the
1
blip.
year.
It was the blip. In 5 years, we'll get it.
It's like-
I think,
but no,
I
so-
think Thanos came in and did like this. That's it.
No,
Yeah.
it was like
Finish.
Death Stranding. Once there was an explosion. That's it. Gone.
So maybe not the best reference point, but we'll go back to something like Tomb Raider. Okay, so a year, right? Do we think that's a good option for them? Because obviously, the conversation, and you can tell me what you think on this. Obviously, like, people are afraid that Microsoft's not going to get their money back. For some reason, that's a concern. So is it a thing of, oh, okay, you have a 1 year exclusivity, and then you can put it out onto the consoles and everyone can have fun and be on it? Or is the solution to this, is it, hey, guess what? we're giving you an option. You can play it on Game Pass, and you can pay $15 a month instead of having to pay $60 for the game when it comes out. So what would you rather have?
Can I answer that though? Because
Go ahead.
all right. Let me start with this one.
Okay.
So, what could happen? I'm gonna say something though, and I'm gonna be straightforward with this. When this deal happened, right? In under 72 hours, Sony was on the phone. They called right away. They did. I mean, there's no lie. There's proof. It's all over. It's all over the internet. Sony called. I mean, really, it was under 72 hours. They called them. They called Phil Spencer, and Phil Spencer said, "Hey, we had talks. We're gonna honor the contracts and do this." So this is what I think it can happen. I don't know if it will happen, but it can happen. If I was Sony right now, I would sit down and talk, and I would try to get what can I do to keep this game here. So guys, let's talk, let's negotiate and see what we can do to keep this franchise going over here. Because remember, I think it was last week we talked about it. It's their number one game that sells over there. PlayStation sells with Call of Duty. I mean, you look at the charts in December, Vanguard, which nobody actually put it because I asked Sauerblue, did you buy it? No. Mr. Yanada, did you buy it?
By what?
Call of Duty Vanguard.
No, hell no.
Did you?
I was playing Halo. I was playing Halo, man.
Exactly.
How about you? Silent Cypher? Did you buy it?
I did. Thank you for asking.
You bought Vanguard?
Yes.
Okay.
I bought it when it was on a deal, though.
Okay, when it was on a deal, you bought it. All right.
Yes.
You should
But
have
usually-
waited.
I did.
But usually when those games come out, everybody buys them right away because they're really interested in it, and nobody bought it.
100%.
In a week or 2 weeks, they already dropped price, and they kept on dropping price. And look, this is what happened.
Yep.
But in PlayStation in December, the charts we have read, it was number one on their sales. Number one over there. It's incredible. So when this deal happened, which caught Sony off guard, and it actually did caught them off guard, like, oh crap, this is happening. They called and they said, hey, are you going to honor the contracts? Okay. Phil Spencer said, yeah, let's honor the contracts. We got a good relationship going on. Let's do this. All right, no problem. Again, I'll say this. If they don't sit down and talk and negotiate, then bye-bye to y'all. It's going to be exclusive over on this side. But they got to sit down and talk, and they got to come out with a solution for that to happen. If they don't, Microsoft can do it and just put it exclusive, put it in Game Pass, and start doing your sales numbers over there.
Let me ask you this though, Crazy. Let me ask you this though, Crazy, because we had a big discussion yesterday. We're not gonna agree.
Here's part two. Let's get ready, everyone.
Yes, we definitely gotta agree. Real quick, this is what I think. I think
no. Put your shirt back on, man.
I think there's
I'm just, flexing my muscle.
I think there's no way that they spent all this money to not make the game exclusive. They want to be the market leader in gaming. They want to become the Netflix of gaming. So this gives you a huge advantage. If you make it exclusive, of course, you're going to bring so many people in. Sure, you're going to lose some money at first, but long run, you're going to make so much money. So my question to Crazy is, because he says they're going to sit down, they're going to negotiate. What does Microsoft want right now from Sony besides putting Game Pass maybe on their platform? What do you think?
You just answered it.
Okay, but that's something I kind of said already. That's the only
but you just
thing.
answered it because, like I said, they're gonna talk. They don't want that game to leave because trust me, they called right away. Because here's the thing, though, in the world of business like this, right? When this stuff happens and you got the competition calling you in under 72 hours. They called them in under 72 hours. I mean, it wasn't even been three. When was it? The purchase happened on Tuesday, and already on Thursday morning, that news broke out. So they called them on Wednesday. If you get the flow, what I'm getting to, right? They called them pretty much on Wednesday. Like, hey, is this gonna be like this? They called them right away. No joke. What?
Watch me win this debate real quick. You know who's in the chat?
Oh, wait.
Assassin
Lord,
Loop is here.
Oh man.
So,
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, look at that! Thank you for coming. I was like, that's
Yeah,
what we
thank you.
need. That's what we need.
That's what we need to
It's-
control
so it's-
crazy.
So here's my thing.
Awesome to
Crazy.
see Crazy's bounty hunter in here.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
He's ready. If you want, I'll tie him for you and get him ready for the kill. But here's my thing. When I look at this, just like Bethesda, right? Let's put it at Game Pass. Right?
Can I answer? Wait, before you go, let me just finish answering Salvo's question.
Oh.
But like I said, like, you answered it though. Right now, Sony's gonna negotiate. So if you want Call of Duty over there, let's bring Game Pass over there, baby. See if you say yes. It can happen. Who knows? But let's see. If not, that's it. It's on the Microsoft
That's
side.
the only way I see it happen.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. They're gonna talk. So let's see what happens.
Here's my interpretation of all this, right? Game Pass, right? I want to grow Game Pass. Game Pass is a platform. One of the things that when you got Bethesda, right, you wanted a couple of things. You bought $1 million franchises, right? Let's just say, right? You wanted a community. You wanted the users that they used to have, and you want to go out to other, countries and different places, right? And reach 3 billion gamers and more. Call of Duty for years is an event. People take off of work. People go and play COD. I remember just like when people used to go, for me, it was Madden, NBA 2K, right? They're always going to be things and they're always going to honor it. And you're right. They're not going to let communities out. They're not going to rip communities here and there. The thing that we're not looking at is there's Call of Duty Mobile and there's Warzone. And if this rumored Warzone 2 is there, that is your sort of say, let's just, and again, I don't know anything. This would be kind of your way of saying this is Call of Duty. It is, right? It's the online portion because we do have we have a good amount of people that say, hey, we don't play. There were numbers saying that a lot of people play more the multiplayer. But there was also a nice little figure that people like the campaign. I think, and this is just me, as let's just say, in the phone call that Crazy Lou was there, they said, hey, Mr. Joanna Dark is the CEO of Microsoft, right? Of Xbox, right? But in my crazy, Earth 2, I would reinvent Call of Duty, and Call of Duty would come straight to Xbox exclusive. Because I want to grow the platform. I want to reach 3 billion gamers. And what would I need, let's just say again, whatever platform that's just millions, when I'm getting all the revenue from billions. And even if we're all wrong here,
Yes.
it's going to be day one on Game Pass. I'm not going to have to pay for it because it's part of my service. And it's going to be best on Xbox. And it's going to have all the things and perks that are needed to basically associate. Because here's my thing, Crazy. Why am I going to pay $70 billion to still people associate and say, oh, hey, I want to go get Call of Duty. Can I get a PlayStation? No. Can I go get Game Pass?
Yeah.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. And Assassin Looper made a good deal. A good point. We know that sometimes Sony is a very proud company. And that's cool. Hey, all the business, right? And you have to be what you have to be to make sure that you stand for your brand and the people that support the brand. What if they're using that 3-year exclusivity to start bringing back SOCOM, start building their own kind of COD, and then say to Microsoft, hey, thank you for your services. Appreciate it. But the other Trojan horses that I desire to, right? We all desire things is we all remember that there was issues with cross-platform play because, we have to protect the children, right? And the thing is, as let's just say the ink dries and Microsoft is building these new games, these new, everything they have in their portfolio, they're going to have Xbox Live services that you log in, just like Minecraft, to say, hey, cool. My thing is, will Sony want that? Second, why would Microsoft want to pay them on, whatever fees they're getting paid for crossplay? I wouldn't. Why would I want to pay Sony to continue crossplay between Xbox and everyone else when I can just say, hey, I can get the person on mobile, I can get the person on PC, I can get the person on a fridge, and not have to pay any fees for crossplay.
Yeah.
So until the ink dries, we don't know. But I know if I spent $70 billion and I want to grow my platform and I want to make the platform where you can play it on a toaster, you can play it on a Zune, whatever you want to call it, and the name Call of Duty comes up, just like when people say, oh, hey, Mario, automatically say Nintendo. When people say COD, when people say Doom, when people say Crash, oh yeah, go, I'm gonna go play it on Game Pass.
Yeah, real quick, adding to that is what I was telling Crazy. Like right now, you think Call of Duty is more associated with Sony, and the cash, like we all know, like, you know, once it comes, if it becomes exclusive, we're gonna know. Or let's say it doesn't stay exclusive, it stays multiplat. But the casual fan, if it stays multiplat, they're still gonna associate it with PlayStation. So that's gonna be the console that they're gonna continue to get still to play their Call of Duty. But if you make it exclusive to the Game Pass platform, they know that, you know, you need a system that runs Game Pass, or you need an Xbox. So you kind of change the mindset immediately. But in order to change the mindset by leaving it multiplat, that's kind of takes years and years, even after, you know, after they purchase it. And this is kind of like buying a rental. You know, you buy a rental house, you're not thinking about, you know, the money you're gonna get. You're thinking long term. You're not thinking about the first 1 or 2 years. You're thinking about, you know, the house is gonna pay itself, and then long term, I'm gonna have the house and I'm gonna have this income coming, you know, every month.
So Salvador makes another good point here. What people got to understand as well is that it's not about the now, right? It's not about the now. When you think about the now, it's because you need that revenue, right? This is about building a future that when the industry hopefully changes, and again, I don't know, you know, we're still probably going to still be playing on, you know, whatever consoles we have, because, you know, we like hardware. But this is preparing for when whatever changes, whether, you know, we finally find out why Embracer Group bought Carmageddon. You know, we start seeing what Tencent wants to do with their content, and maybe some other players come into it. You're set for that type of future because things change, right? We kept saying, hey, we're never going to live in a world where we buy our games digital. Guess what? We're buying games digital. We still have physicals because, of course, there's people that want to collect. We still have places in the world that don't have that infrastructure, or have data caps, and that's totally understandable. Hopefully that improves. But this is more, like everyone said this. This is just more than just consoles, man. This is like right now when I go and tell you, hey, Crazy, go watch Squid Game. Cool. Let's go to Netflix.
Yes.
Every time I tell you, go Lou, go play this. Oh yeah, where is it? Oh, it's on Game Pass. All right, cool, I got it. Let me go to my TV. I'm gonna go there and chill. That's what it wants to be. It's not about, oh man, yeah, look at my little box over here. Cool. Yeah, no, it's hey, let's go get on that game that's coming out. Where is it? Oh, it's on Game Pass. Just download it, man. Just get the controller. Yeah. It's more than that. And that's the thing. You want to become global.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
like, real quick, one more thing. Like, if they were in a spot where they were like the market leader, where they would be like so far ahead, they would probably not care. You know, they would make it multiplat. But right now they're not in the spot where they are the market leader, and that's what they want to become. And in order to become, like you said, they need that exclusive content. When you think a certain series, a certain movie that you want to watch, and it's exclusive to one platform, you got to go to that platform to watch it or see it. In this case, it's going to be to play it.
So let me say something real quick about being the market leader. I mean, okay, the money who makes more company, like for example, like you see Sony and its revenue on PlayStation side, it's part of number one. Number two, I think, was Tencent, and they are number three, right? Nintendo's way down there. But in popularity, well, that's the word though. That's the word we gotta look from popularity. Nintendo's number one. You can't beat Nintendo and their exclusives and all the stuff they do. Nintendo puts a game down, like I always say, they can put Mario jumping or Mario wears tidy whities or Mario runs around.
Which is that one, Lou? It's coming out when? Tidy whitey Mario? When?
we gotta get tidy whitey Mario.
Never coming out ever. Man.
We need a tidy whitey Mario. But yeah, Nintendo throws something out and they sell 13 million. I mean, 30 million in just a month. 30, 25 million of the copies of that game, or 2 months, 3 months. And in the same price as 60. They don't even lower their price. So,
Oh no, Nintendo used
Yeah.
Mario
No.
Kart Double Dash is still $34. That's insane.
yes.
Mario Kart 8 is still 39. That's the lowest I've seen, the $39.99.
$39.99? Oh my God.
Unless
Maybe I
unless
gotta buy
there's
it
somebody on
now.
the unless there's somebody on the corner saying, "Hey, what's up, MJD? You want Mario Kart for $2?" I was like, "Nah, man, I don't know what that is."
No. I gotta buy it now since it's $40 because damn, it's only 60. And Nintendo has that lead on there. And I'm gonna be honest with you though, if we go money wise and what's going on, Microsoft is actually jamming it down. They're doing a pretty good job on the market right now. They're doing pretty good. And for me in the competition, that's for me in the business side, they are kicking butt. They are doing it. That's for
So-
me on my position though. What?
So here's another thing, Lou, that I want to
What?
ask, all of you. So
Right.
one of the things that stood out, right, when this whole thing went down with Activision, that remember the interviews and everything that we kind of covered and everyone has covered about how Call of Duty wasn't sustainable, right?
Yeah.
So let's go over to this, right? Games are getting
Yeah.
more expensive.
Yeah.
Sean Layden said the same thing. Jim Ryan said that these things are getting expensive, right?
Yes.
So what we're seeing is the more and more that PlayStation makes these incredible experiences, the more and
Mhm.
more pressure and more expensive because we expect more. Like right now, I beat Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm expecting Forbidden West to blow my mind away.
Yeah.
And it probably will. So with Game Pass or different ways of getting the revenue to create different things, because if not, you have to double down, just like what happened to Activision. You double down on COD, right? At the moment, Sony's doubling down on what they've been doing for the past generation, which is these great blockbuster experiences. But eventually, like you see them, they have to expand that portfolio, and they have to. And that money doesn't just come out of the trees, So we don't want a situation like that as well for Sony. So they're going to do things to do. And I don't think in this whole thing that I want Sony to be the same thing as Microsoft. I want Sony to do their thing.
Yeah.
I want Nintendo to give me these weird experiences, where I have to put like, silly things on myself to do like Ring Fit Adventure.
And Mario Tiny
And-
Whitey.
Yeah, so my thing is all the big three are gonna still do what they do best while emulating their own versions of what each of the other ones are doing. Now, once Nintendo discovers the internet and they get away from AOL, then we can talk about that. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's about, like you said, right? It's about being more than just, when people you go to these markets, you go in there, it's just more than the console. Because we're so avid fans, we think that consoles are like the world. But in Japan, why does Monster Hunter sell? Because people love just interacting on the train and going there.
Yeah.
In parts, in Brazil, where it's expensive, gaming expensive, they have heavy
Super
taxes.
expensive. Yeah.
Guess what? Because they want to protect the businesses and all the laws.
Can I say
xCloud
something?
is big.
You mentioned Japan. Can I say something real quick about Japan, which is really important to say this? Guys,
Sure.
Japan, people in Japan are always on the go all the time. So that's why you see, like, for example, Nintendo Switch is actually one of the best moves they made. That's why it's selling really hardcore over there really fast, because it's a thing that they can grab, they can carry around, take it anywhere. And here's another fun fact though. You're gonna see pretty soon, and it's gonna happen, that the Series S is gonna become popular if PlayStation does not minimize that beast over there, which is big. If they don't put it small, Series S are gonna sell more. Why are they gonna sell more? Because of the spaces that people have in their homes is really small. Japan is a really like how they live in small spaces. So really, that's what they're gonna do. If PlayStation does not minimize their console pretty soon, Series S is gonna become really popular over there, and they're gonna sell. Because
You seen
I
that
know-
screen you can add to it?
What? Yeah, you can actually take it anywhere.
Third party
But it's
like screen.
yeah, but it's still a little heavy for these guys to carry it because the Switch is actually really light. I know Joanna Dart takes it everywhere. I don't know if you have taken it any. Do you take
What?
it everywhere? Your Switch, Joanna?
Oh,
You
the
take
Switch
it
goes
everywhere?
everywhere, man.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
that's
I
yeah, I'm
mean,
just saying.
we used to make fun of those videos where they showed the actors inside the restroom.
Yeah, yeah.
Oops. I'm there in Dark Souls,
Oh
taking out
yeah,
No.
ninjas. I'm like, oh,
No,
there's
no,
also
no, no.
there's
Wait, and,
also
oh man, I'm gonna say something. That's something I love about the S Cloud because seriously, I am a guy who loves my bathroom, and everybody knows it. I take 5 showers a day, and if I could get a waterproof Switch, I would love to take it in the shower and play my Switch.
I was
Cypher, bring us
really
back in. Bring us
hoping-
back in.
Yeah, I was really hoping we weren't going to get to that point.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna throw one more thing into this, and I want to make it short because obviously we've been going off into the weeds a little bit. But I want your opinion, and this is a weird random pie in the sky thing. But what if Sony's not keen on the idea of putting Game Pass on PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
But what if somehow they manage to make a deal where it's like, okay, you won't put Game Pass on there, but will you put God of War and Horizon on Game Pass? And then we'll keep Call of Duty on your system.
You know, I thought of that, but then again, it's like I don't think it's much of a gain for the Xbox side because it's like not, you know, those games are like kind of like one and done games, and you know they would want games that kind of keep you in the Game Pass, and I don't feel like, you know, I don't know, I don't think that's something that they would do. Unless I think what would make them do the deal if Game Pass goes to the PlayStation platform, because that's what they want. They want Game Pass everywhere. I don't see how that, you know, adds to their objective.
I could definitely see where you're going with it, but I think going back to the conversation that you guys just had, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about almost like a baby steps type of situation, right? Like this is going to be a shock to the system for Sony, right? You know, you find out that your competitor has just picked up one of the bigger developers in, you know, one of the biggest publishers in the market. So, you know, is your answer initially like, okay, well, maybe we'll throw you a couple things in Game Pass, kind of like what we saw with like MLB The Show. Granted, that was not their decision, but it just makes me wonder, like, if maybe that's almost like the dip of the toe into the water to see, like, okay, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't a bad, you know, this isn't an anti-consumer thing like what we constantly hear on social media. It makes me wonder, like, is there a possibility that maybe they're not willing to fully shift all the way over to having Game Pass in their ecosystem, but maybe they're willing to put some of their games in to see how it is and see how much traction they get? So, do you have more with that on that one, Sour, or do you want to shift over to Crazy?
Let's hear what Crazy have to say.
Okay.
I don't have much to add.
the
Right?
one-
Crazy, what you got?
Again, what was the question though? Like if it would
So-
bring, right?
Yeah, so basically, you know, if it's something that Sony doesn't like the idea of putting Game Pass into their own ecosystem, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Instead, potentially they put a couple of their games in as a bargain of, okay, we'll let you have Call of Duty, but you've got to put a couple of your games into our Game Pass system as basically like a bargaining, a leverage of some sort.
You're saying that,
Do you
like, for
think that's
example,
possible?
okay, for example, Sony, because like I said, right now they gotta sit down and negotiate. They really want Call of Duty there. Right now they're in that spot. They are, and I'll say this again. I mean, it's an expression that they're used. They caught them with their pants off, pretty much.
Mhm.
They weren't expecting this. Seriously, they weren't expecting this. when
It's a
this
big deal.
happened,
Yeah.
when this happened, they called right away Microsoft like, hey, you need a if there are contracts, and Microsoft said no problem, we're gonna go through with them. But what's gonna happen after that? We don't know yet.
So,
Maybe, like I
so
said, Sony's gonna sit down and negotiate, and they're gonna try to get COD here. So
Right.
and this is the thing though about Sourbo and everybody's saying yes. You want it here? You gotta bring Game Pass to the platform. Let's bring it, no problem. You want it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Xbox is gonna say, let me bring. Please give us your exclusives, some of your exclusives to Game Pass over here, because it would not be a good deal, especially from on the Sony side. You know, it wouldn't be a fair spot to them. I don't know what
it's
I don't know, like because when you see those games on the Xbox and you know the difference, you know, stuff like that. I don't know.
sure, but to be fair, at the same time, I guess you could say the same thing, right? Is if Microsoft owns Activision, the idea of having Call of Duty on there seems like it's an unnecessary also, right?
Yeah, but here's what Joanna said. I mean, it was just like Psychonauts. Psychonauts came out, and we got the better version of Psychonauts.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
We did. We Microsoft got the better version of Psychonauts. We did. We actually
Yes.
on the Xbox side, we got the better version of Psychonauts. PlayStation did not get the upgraded version. So that's what
they got the PS4 version.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So if Sony's gonna do that, they're not gonna give them the best version. They're gonna give them the good version, you know, but not the best version.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want that, because seriously, if they give them the best version, remember, if you look at it when you open the books and the specs on the hardware on each console, for example, you see Horizon on a PS5, you put Horizon not on the Forbidden West on PS5, you put it on the Series X, and Digital Foundry grabs that, there's gonna be a big problem right there for them. So yeah, but the only way it's gonna happen, like I said, Sony needs to sit down, talk, negotiate, see what they can do. But I have a feeling from the bottom of my heart that they're gonna say no to Game Pass. And when they say no, Microsoft's gonna say, hey guys, sorry, I'm keeping this over here.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
We desired to have it, but they said
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so going back to you actually, so Dark, real quick, do you want to touch on this and then we'll shift to another topic?
No.
Do you have any more to add to it?
No.
No, I think everyone said they needed to say. I mean, we can get to the next topic, but
okay.
Dutch kind of said the same thing we were kind of talking about, that with Microsoft requiring most likely Xbox Live integration into that, Sony's gonna be like, hey, ain't nobody got time for that, and guess what? There it is, the deal breaker, and and there can be other things. We can see that's the first rock, and maybe next, one of the things that I don't know if people discussed real quick is, could Microsoft be more aggressive? And last year they reduced their pricing for people, similar to the Epic Game Store, for people to actually publish, to maybe entice these Japanese developers, right? And continue to grow. What if they bring it down once they know they have enough subs, and say, hey, you know what? You want to come publish on Game Pass? You want to come publish on Xbox? Let's bring that down and give you more percentage back. That can be another tactic as well to continue to grow, and maybe bring some of those Japanese developers, say, well, people on Xbox don't really buy a lot of my games because we've seen certain whatever, but that can be enticing because, again, they're coming in at a low cost and getting something back.
So on that note, I guess the thing I would wonder with that too, right? Because they slashed the pricing quite a bit. I forget the exact details, but they dropped the percentage down in their favor pretty low compared to like Epic and some of those at the same time. So, but I guess that was just that was on the indie developer side, right? Do you guys remember?
With what? I'm sorry, say that again.
When they slashed their pricing as far as what they were taking in for profit.
That was on the Windows Store. You're talking about like PC,
right?
Or you're talking about PC? That was for PC. They wanted to stay competitive with the Windows Store as they were trying to build the Windows Store into bringing games. So they kind of went in, with a whole thing about Epic going and giving back I think like 88%, and then kind of trying to, compete against Steam. And Microsoft did the same thing. And there's been talks about whether they may do that as well on the console side to kind of, again, I think it would be great to maybe entice those niche developers that may be reluctant to come over.
Yeah, get some of those folks into the ecosystem and show that, it's a good spot, but also give them a monetary benefit for doing so, right?
Yes. Even though I think real quick, I think they should get rid of that Microsoft store and just make one big app for everything. Like they have the Xbox Companion, they got just make one app that works.
I agree with you.
It's
They
insane.
should do that. They should do that.
Speaking of that, I'm interested to see how they consolidate. You still have the Bethesda launcher that's still out there, because they had their own thing. You have the Xbox app, Windows Store. You have Battle.net now.
Battle.net.
That's something that I really want to kind of, really, once we get there, to find out what's going to happen with that tech. And Battle.net's awesome, and there's a lot of features there. So that's one thing that I definitely want to see what their idea is going to be, because that can be a great way to kind of entice more PC players, which is another thing they want to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think moving on from this, we'll shift away to a different topic. So I want to touch base. It sounds like we've been hearing a little bit of news as far as stuff like the Master Chief Collection treatment coming to some of the other Xbox franchises, right? So we talked a little bit previously, but for the people watching the video, a couple of the ones that came right to mind were, okay, well, Gears of War and Fable are two really good options, right? So I want to know kind of just where you guys stand on it, what you think, and which one you think would actually be the one if we're going to see another collection like that, which was killer, by the way, for Halo. Which one do you think makes the most sense, but also which one would you prefer? Crazy, what do you got on this one?
To bring like a remaster version, you mean?
Well, to do almost
collection.
something like, a collection, kind of like how Master Chief, you had all the games combined together, all that type of stuff.
Well, all they gotta do is just upgrade them. That's easy. I mean, all those games they have over there, just gotta bring them over here and upgrade it. Like what Sony did, which that happened with the Uncharted. They just didn't upgrade on all 4 Uncharted. Is it all 4 Uncharted, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. So, but which one do I prefer? Wow, because that's a hard one though.
And which one do you think is realistic, honestly, with the timing? You got to factor Gears of War. The next Gears of War that we have is a few years out, probably, because they did say that they're going to be doing a smaller project during and in between the next Gears that we get.
Well, we haven't gotten a remaster on the Gears of War, just the first one, so we can bring 2 and 3 back. Yeah. Just the first, they could.
But at the same time, we also did get a remaster of the original Fable, and we know obviously there's a new Fable coming. So I guess it kind of plays a game of, based on release dates, what do you think is probably the most realistic one to come first? Or potentially we get one for each of them, but which one do you think is the more realistic?
Since you just mentioned Fable, I want Fable back.
Okay.
Yeah, Fable for me, because I'm gonna tell you something though, and I'll be honest with you. Gears of War, we played last generation Gears of War, and it's a good thing to take a break from Gears of War. We need this Fable franchise back. I mean, I love Fable. Can you imagine Fable up to date with the graphics? The old Fable, oh man, and I'll be kicking chickens all day. That's what I used to do in Fable, just kick chickens.
Gonna become a chicken chaser.
Yes. Oh man, and I love that game. I remember I beat it. I put the guy on the good side and I put the guy on the evil side. And when you go evil, you get dark. You get the dark armor. It's
you get the
awesome.
Horns. Yeah,
you get the horns. Yes, it's awesome. Fable is awesome. They need to bring that game back, and they actually need that game back. Also, again, bring all those platformers back. Bring them. Do remake Crash Bandicoot, not remake Crash Bandicoot, remake Banjo-Kazooie, remake Conquer, remake all that stuff. Bring all those games back.
You're saying a bunch of names that a lot of people I think are
Yeah.
going to be very excited about. I always hear
Yes.
Banjo-Kazooie everywhere
What
I
about
go.
Blinks? Nobody gives love to
Blinks.
Blinks.
No.
No one-
Blinks.
There's not a lot of love
Conquer.
for Blinks.
I want
Here's my thing.
Conquer.
He's a time sweeping cat with a vacuum right there.
No,
Trumps
Blinks can
everything.
come back. I'm saying, I'm talking about all those old platforms. Blinks is on there.
No, you didn't
Gex is
mention
on
it.
there.
Don't fix it, Chris.
I'm not. Hey, I'm talking about all those guys. I mean that group because there's a bunch of them. I mean, look
No,
at
I know, I
Spiral.
know. Just kidding.
I never played Spiral, but Spiral was a fun platform. I never played it, but I know it was a fun platform. Gex was also a fun platform. You used to play Gex too. But
Yep.
do they own Gex? Yeah, they own Gex, right? Or do you know? No, I don't think they know. No.
That
Oh,
is
no.
Crystal Dynamics. That's most
Yeah.
likely
Yep.
Square.
My
So
bad.
Square has. And
My
also,
bad
why
then.
would you bring up Gex? That's a terrible franchise.
Yeah.
I'd rather
It was
get
that
Glover.
bad?
I'd rather get
That's a
Glover.
sensitive topic.
Gex was bad.
Gex and,
I
and
love
Leisure
it.
Suit Gex and Leisure Suit
It was
Larry
okay.
should be actually tied and thrown into the ocean.
Leave my Leisure Suit Larry out because I love my. I haven't played. I need to buy the new Leisure Suit Larry. I need to get that game. I haven't played Leisure Suit Larry in a long time, but yeah, bring all those guys back. I mean, bring all those great platformers back. You got good choices to bring back, and forget about Gears of War and forget about Halo because seriously, we need a break from that. Bring all these guys back, really.
And
Sour
let's get
blow.
grab by the ghoulies as well.
Because
Sour blow. What do you think?
Because this is gonna be an honest question though.
Okay.
Me and Sourblowed did this the other day. Remember Sourblowed? After we played Halo Infinite, we went back to the old Halo. How did you feel after playing it?
It didn't feel right.
Yeah, exactly. So why would I want to remaster a game? I'm not gonna feel right about playing it because I love the new Halo. I love the way it moves. We're not gonna play it. So yeah,
Sure.
bring all these guys back. Bring all these guys
But-
back.
But I would argue at the same time, right? Like Fable and Gears, definitely different things. Mainly Fable,
Yeah.
in the fact that you don't have a multiplayer, Twitch shooter type of approach that you're dealing with, right? Like even if the control scheme's not amazing, it's not going to matter because you don't have to worry about going against the tryhards online.
No, but I know what you're saying. But I'd rather have, honest to God, I'd rather have Fable come back, and I'd rather have all those old games that really need to come back. They really need to make
Yes.
Banjo-Kazooie. They really need to make Blinks. They really need to make Conquer because it's a subject that everybody.
Voodoo Vince.
Voodoo Vince.
Voodoo Vince. This is
He
a
needs
guy.
to come
who the
back.
hell-
Phil's
who the hell is Voodoo
Phil's
Vince?
wish list right there.
Bring Super Lucky. Bring him back too.
Yeah.
Lucky
We
Tail.
need.
Yeah.
So,
Lucky-
yeah,
Yeah.
we need to. Here's my thing. We bring them back. Furries in Time. Blinks is the catalyst to that. There you go. There's
Yeah.
the title.
Yeah.
Furries in Time.
And they have
Where's it?
Conquer, just chainsaw all of them.
Yeah, I mean, bring all those games back. That's what we want. We don't want another Gears of War. Nah. Bring Fable. Fable. I want to go kick chickens. I miss kicking chickens. I
Okay.
mean, seriously, I'm not kidding you. I grab my Super Mini Nintendo and I go into Zelda and I hit the chickens because I love when you hit them. All the chickens come back at you. I love doing that just to hear them yell. So yeah, bring Fable back.
Sour, what do you think? Gears, Fable, preference?
Well, out of the two, first I thought of Gears, but then thinking about how they're gonna reboot Fable, I think it's kind of a better idea. Kind of, do the collection first of Fable to kind of get the old people hyped again and get interested into the Fable before you come and release the new Fable. Now, real quick, I do want to mention something. I'm gonna steal this from Mr. Joanna Dark. I think he said it in the chat somewhere, so I'm gonna steal it. What if they bring a Fallout collection? Didn't you? I think it was you, right?
You bastard. You
That
bastard.
would be
Yes.
awesome.
So there was this
Okay.
there was this
Yeah.
rumor.
All right, now
there was
we're
this
talking.
rumor that on Switch, the Fallout collection, that Bethesda had this collection. It was just this thing that was going crazy. And I said, hey, what if you bring back that rumored Fallout collection with an updated, New Vegas, Fallout 3, but it'll be cool.
What you think? 1 through 1, 2, and 3, and New Vegas.
I would say 3 and New Vegas.
Give me 3
I
in
mean,
Vegas. Yeah. honestly. Yeah.
All right.
The old Fallouts, I never played the old Fallouts. I think I was stuck on Diablo.
The original Fallouts were isometric.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So Mr. Joy in the Dark, besides Fallout, what's your take on those two? If you had to choose, if you had to put one out to pasture, which one would you rather have come back, Fable or Gears, as a collection?
Phantom Dust. No, I'm joking. no, I'm joking.
Sorry, Miles.
Yeah, RIP to Phantom Dust, Miles. No, I think it makes more sense for Fable. Why? Fable is being rebooted. And here's another reason, right? We got kicked in the mouth with bad Fables. We got the online one that I got to play, which even though that wasn't Fable, as much as I thought, hey, let me give it a chance, I got the opportunity to play it, right? I was one of the testers.
Right.
Then we got the Connect one where you were waving your hand. It was pretty good, but it wasn't Fable.
Okay.
So my thing is, most likely, Fable is more closer than Gears. Gears has to go for now, to give it time to rest. So bring Fable back, but don't just bring it back with, hey, pretty visuals. Give it an actual treatment. Maybe take some elements of whatever you can do. Again, I'm not a developer. And give me modern controls, modern feel, kind of like what they did with kind of GTA, right? They gave it a modern feel. These games work for PS2. Give me some beautiful looking graphics, touch it up here and there. And to throw it even out there, hey, Playground, if you're listening, throw in some elements of what you want so far from the Fable game that you're working on. And test those waters, in there. But I think Fable makes sense, and I would love to see Fable back because I definitely want to re-experience those games. And I think it's time. This builds that kind of hype. Then you drop a Fable trailer at E3, and this just go, and you announce this collection.
But I got a question for you though, Joanna. Who do you think would be working on this Fable collection though? Do you think it would be Playground also? Because they're not.
I don't know. They probably have somebody that's doing part of the porting. I don't think so. I think Playground is probably is not working on it, but definitely Fable. As much as I love Gears, I think when Gears 6 is ready to be announced, that's when you go and say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's go and let's give you a Master Chief Collection type of Gears collection. At this moment, in the chat, they said, I think Stuff Sean, he was playing Gears 5. We got Hive Busters. Gears is still in the back and still in people's minds.
Yes.
And, even with, I think they're backwards compatible. are they FPF boost on Gears 2 and 3? I'm sorry. No, you can play them.
No.
But I don't think, if the chat can help me. That's bad on me.
You know what? Yeah, chat can fact check us on it, but I feel like in that last batch right before when they said, okay, this is it, I feel like those ones were possibly on there, but I could be wrong.
But I definitely would love to visit Fable, Fable 2, so I can literally, I can literally live my dream of just leaving children in the streets from all the people that I visit and having so many children. Because that's what you can do in Fable 2. So
you can do what? What?
Yeah, you can marry and have kids and all that stuff. But anyway, besides that, I definitely want to relive Fable modernized, and I think that makes sense. And I think it was Jay Vargas, and this is something that I said before. Remember that there was a tweet and then it was deleted. And they tweeted about chickens and all this, and all of a sudden it just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yes.
We have nothing to announce.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Putting everything together, it just makes sense that Fable is coming. It's just when they're announcing this.
We need that Fable and its chickens.
Hey, could this Fable thing maybe be ready? And that takes the slot for Stalker 2. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
So one decision has a question for us. Question for the panel. Like Grounded is inspired by a movie property. What game would you all want this acquisition to make that is inspired by a movie? I want a Ghostbusters style game. Oof, man. Oh,
that's grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Oh man, but there is a Ghostbusters that actually got a remaster, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's another one apparently coming on the way too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that
What was
Ghostbuster
I'm
game.
sorry. What was the question? It says.
He says, question for the panel. Like Ground is inspired by a movie property, which like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. What game would you all want this acquisition to make that inspired by a movie? I want a Ghostbusters style game. Remember, because Activision used to make movie games too and all that stuff, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one.
Which one?
I want a brand new RoboCop versus the Terminator.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
RoboCop versus the Terminator because I used to love that game on the Genesis and the SNES. So you give me a modern day because that Terminator game, I think it's called Resistance. I have it. Is so underrated and it's fantastic. Like this is like an actual, like if there was, let's forget all the other terrible Terminators that they made, the one with Christian Bale and all that stuff. This is actually like awesome. This is what the Terminator should have been after 3, which was another terrible movie. But yes, it's
Hey.
I would love. I can't stand that. I can't stand the main actor. That kid, whatever his name is.
3, you
Which
mean?
one?
Dude, Nick Stahl?
Which
Yeah,
one?
Terminator 3 wasn't.
I just
wasn't
like
that-
I
it
just
wasn't
want to
good.
like literally. I just want to give him
No.
wedgies.
Oh,
Wait,
he was
brother.
he was so good in disturbing behavior. Are you kidding me?
Wait.
Well, here's my thing. Just going back to the Terminator. I love Terminator, and going back to Terminator
Yes.
3 and just seeing
Oh,
him
no.
as John Connor is
Oh,
just
no.
like
Don't talk about that.
no.
I-
That's
I-
like saying I put this guy and he's gonna be Thor, and I'll be like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
you're not Thor.
Yeah.
That's like
No.
Luke trying to be Wandering Dutch. He's not Wandering Dutch.
You're
Hey.
just Dutch.
Hey,
There's only one Dutch.
I know there's only one Dutch, but I could be his brother, the beardless Dutch. And also, I got hair here. He doesn't have hair here, so yeah, it could be his half brother.
So touching on what Sauer made the comment about in regards to this, right?
Yeah.
The question would be what dev group is actually going to jump in if this happens? Like, which one would actually do this? Playground obviously has their hands full because they've got the new Fable, they've got Forza, which they're killing it in. Which also segues a little bit. They just hit 18 million 18 million users total, which is phenomenal. But I think that very much points to the fact that they've got their hands full. So who would be, honestly, like the group? Granted, they'll probably use a support group of some sort or multiple. But I think that's maybe one of the only caveats I would say with it is with Coalition, it seems like it's a fairly big team. They don't have a bunch of other projects they are doing. So maybe the Gears one seems like a possibility. But I do agree with you guys. I think realistically, we're going to see the new Fable before we see the next Gears.
Yes, they need to bring Fable back because really we love Gears. I'm not saying I don't like Fable. I love Gears. I love Halo, but man, bring something that you have been for years people craving, and that's Fable.
Yes.
We need that back.
And we've gotten Gears. Over the past few years, we've gotten Gears. We've gotten stuff in the main storyline. Whereas Fable, like Mr. Joanna Dark talked about, we had a multiplayer, which ended up getting canceled, unfortunately. We had the Kinect. We had stuff that was coming down that pipeline. Unfortunately, it was just in a bad time. We talk about it, and we've talked about it previously, is like that was a time when Microsoft was not focused on those specific things.
Yeah,
It was
if you want to
a
wash
different
away the sourness, you definitely do that.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you want to show that, hey, things have changed and we are on a different leaf, that would be a really good show, is just to be like, hey, look at this thing. Look at how good these games are. And to get you excited about the next game, here's this, this collection.
Yeah. Can I shift to something real quick that was a question in the chat regarding two things. One, for the movie inspired game. One thing, I think Christopher Nolan, which is my favorite, director, producer, he mentioned that he was interested in doing a game. I'm very interested in what he's going to come up with because he has some crazy ideas. And the other thing is, one game that I would like them to make, it doesn't have to be titled with the movie. Actually, this studio already makes kind of games similar, which is going back to Playground Games. I love the Fast and Furious, the Tokyo Drift. What if they make their next Forza a little bit more like kind of like Need for Speed Underground, a little bit more underground, where you get more of those, not necessarily those high-end cars, but more like, actual cars that you can get, you can upgrade, you can put the nitro on it and make it, Forza Street or something like that, and make it in Japan and Tokyo, whatever. I think that would be kind of interesting.
So that
sounds like Midnight Club.
Hey, Rockstar's not bringing back Midnight Club.
They should. They gotta bring that game.
I wish they could.
And Need for Speed is not the same. Like 1 and 2 and Most Wanted. Those were the glorious days.
After I think it was Most Wanted. After Most Wanted came out, that's it.
Carbon was kind of alright, but it was too short. Like
that does make me wonder. You bring up Forza Street, and it does make me wonder because of course previously we had heard a lot of talks that the next Forza was going to be Forza Japan. We were going to see some sort of like Tokyo Drift type of Forza, which then we found out that was not the case. There's a lot of people still hoping for that. But I do wonder, because we did just hear recently, I think that Forza Street has basically been kind of discontinued. So I wonder if part of that is because they are going to, with the next iteration, they're going to actually go to Japan and maybe do a drift style type of game instead. For me, I don't know. That's just my thought. But obviously that's that's hoping and dreaming.
Yeah.
But you know what was dreaming too? Crisis 4 today was announced. Ooh.
Crisis 4.
Yes. I have never played the first one, the second one, neither the third one. I am.
They all die.
Oh man, but you gotta take that.
Spoilers. Jesus.
Spoilers.
So yeah,
I'm gonna be psycho.
I guess that's definitely we've got a couple things that we're obviously on kind of on the wait on. Crisis 4, we really don't have much, with the exception of a teaser screen saying that, hey, this thing's coming. I'm excited about that. Honestly, I never got through all the previous 3 games, but it was always revered as, the PC destroyer as far as like the technical specs back in the day. And so I'm eager, honestly. They did the re-releases a couple months ago.
Yep.
And so you can get those now. But I would really like to see a current gen version of that. I think that would be really cool. It was pushing the boundaries back in the day.
Yes.
I mean, the game still hold up. The game still hold up. I mean,
because
if you look at Crisis 3 and Crisis. Also, Crisis Remastered is actually on EA Play on PC. Just an FYI. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it's crazy.
Only on
only
PC,
the first one,
right?
Only on PC. I ran into it. Where I was like, "What is this real?" I was like, "Yep, it's on EA Play."
Nice.
That's part of your
cool.
Game Pass.
Mav was playing the other day from Speculation, and he said that it still holds up. It still looks good. He said that. I mean,
that game was
this
like
looks amazing.
That meme was everywhere. Does your PC run Crisis?
I mean, that was the PC was the PC console war. My computer can run Crisis just fine.
Yeah.
It was the benchmark, and honestly, I think even still to this day, it still puts some cards to its bases because it was a very graphics intensive game at the time. But shifting real quick also to some of the stuff that's kind of smaller. So EA Respawn, they ended up doing a three game deal struck with Disney for the Star Wars side of things. Personally, for me, I'll just jump in real quick and you can tell me one way or another what you think. But I think honestly, if they hadn't ended up doing the recent one through Respawn, I don't think we would have seen this deal happen, right? Like Disney started shifting left and right all over the place, trying to take deals to get new Star Wars games going. I think if we hadn't seen Fallen Order, I think EA kind of would have been cut out because EA had shown kind of a lack of stewardship for the past few years in regards to how they treated the brand, the IP, you know? So I want to know what you guys think. Mr. Dark, what you think?
You know, EA really squandered the Star Wars license. You know, we had the Amy Hennig game, we had all these games that were apparently single player experiences, and they unfortunately, shifted into what they wanted to kind of follow, which is kind of a lot of monetization. And again, parts where, microtransactions were kind of up in the air and they wanted to follow trends that thought were going to probably pay out, and they did it, right? Then we finally got Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn, and that's what we wanted all this time. They did Knights of the Old Republic, then we got the Old Republic as an MMO, and all this time we never really got until Jedi Fallen Order a proper Star Wars game that we wanted to live in that world. So I'm excited. When I look at this, it's just basically EA now doubling down and kind of what EA does, right? They want to get in our good graces. We're getting Dead Space back, right? And I like, from what I heard here, that it's going to be an FPS. We don't know what type, we know it's a Star Wars FPS, and it's going to be a single player game. I'm crossing my fingers. I don't know, but I would love it for me the sequel to Republic Commando.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yeah,
That would
that'd
be awesome. Yeah.
Then the next one is a strategy game, and it's made by former people from Firaxis. So Firaxis, XCOM.
Yes.
So that's another nice, exciting thing right there.
Yeah.
And then I definitely want a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, and I cannot wait. I mean, that game is just so good. And I'm happy that EA is seeing this, and I hope that we continue to get some of their, because they have some great franchises. And just really quick, because I want to get there, is that I'm glad under Vincent Paula that they're probably looking at these IPs and saying, hey, we have great IPs. Let's take care of them. Let's bring back what we love. Let's bring the Dead Space back. Let's bring back, a better Mirror's Edge, which apparently is there. Let's take care of Dragon Age. Let's take care of Mass Effect. Big, big titles. So I hope they, I'm excited and look forward to hearing more about it.
I'm not happy.
Why are you not happy?
Are you not happy?
You know why? Because those games are going to come out, and Star Citizen is never going to come out. So that's
that's why you're mad.
Not because of that.
In a galaxy far away, Star Citizen.
All right, explain. Why are you not happy?
I'm happy for Jedi Fallen Order. I love the first one. However, why do you have to work on 3 Star Wars games? Couldn't you work on 2 and work on Titanfall 3? I want Titanfall 3. When are we gonna get that? Come on, man.
Yeah.
We are probably getting the Mandalorian.
I don't blame you one bit, because honestly, after Titanfall 2, that was the big point of contention, right?
Yes.
Titanfall 1, it didn't have any story. It only had the multiplayer. Then Titanfall 2, they had the story. It was well revered. It was only like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
The multiplayer was good, but it landed at a bad time, right? Like it landed right next to Call of Duty and the Battlefield at the time. So they set it up to fail.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Squish in the middle.
They set it up to fail. So like if we saw another Titanfall, God, I think all of us on here would probably be ecstatic at this point, because it kind of feels like they put that brand to rest when they tucked it right in between those Goliaths.
To me, as a first-person shooter, that game has like one of the best story, if not the best. And like the way it plays, like I was so surprised, and I played it like last year, I think it was. And I was amazed by that.
It reminded me of a Kojima game because of the way the enemies in part 2 were introduced and the whole thing. Again, me being a fan of Kojima, it reminded me a little bit of Zone of Enders and Metal Gear, where you had like these really big characters.
Yeah, you know what? They did a great job too. With your Titan, you actually like, you feel like it's part of you. It's like you feel like you have a feeling for it. Like they did a great job with it. Like it wasn't something like, like most movies and games, when they have like a robot element or something that's not real, like you don't really feel for that. And they did a really great job for that. I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to spoil it, but
You ever played Zone of the Enders, Second Runner?
Yes. So
No, I haven't.
So it's a
Beautiful
game that
game.
made by Kojima, and the Second Runner is your Gundam, freaking Neon Genesis, Evangelion kind of dreams. It's amazing. It's literally like $9 right now, I think, on sale on Xbox, and it's on PC as well. And Zone of the Enders Second Runner is amazing.
And there's
I only played Zone of Enders because of Metal Gear.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, but yeah. And I used to like the intro to Zone of Enders. It was a good
Yes,
game, but
it
the
was-
second one was definitely amazing.
Yes. Yep.
Man.
Okay. So I guess one of the last things that we have for this evening is talking about Sea of Thieves. There's an event tomorrow, it looks like, our 2022 event. I just kind of wanted to float it past the panel. I'm not a big Sea of Thieves guy, but I just wanted to check with you guys, see kind of what your thoughts are, what you're hoping for in this show. So,
Well, we have an
Sour
expert
Blow, we'll
here.
start with you. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we have an
We'll
expert
pass
here, but do not let him drive the ship. If
He
you
sings
guys
it all the
let
time.
That's
he
not
sings
true.
it all the
That's not
time.
true.
He does
That's-
the
that's-
I'm not kidding you.
That's not
So
Forza.
If you want to
It's-
relive
that's
Leonardo
not
just like
DiCaprio
Forza,
moments,
then.
get into
Okay.
Sour Blow. If
That's
you want to be
Sour Blow,
Leonardo DiCaprio,
That's
Okay.
not
You
wanna be
Forza.
like
If
Leo?
it will be Forza, I'll give you that, but that's not Forza.
now if he doesn't take it, is his son actually playing? Just want to let you know, everyone know. If you play with Sour Blow and nothing bad's happening, you're playing with his son, who's great at
Yes.
games.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass it off to the expert. So Sour Blow, what are your hopes? What are your expectations? What are you wanting from this tomorrow when we do the event?
Well, I hope they disclose what they're gonna do throughout the whole year. Give us kind of like a rundown of what we're gonna get. Not spoil everything, of course, but kind of hints of. Give us more hint of what we're gonna get throughout the year. Not like they have done sometimes where they only tell us what we're gonna get for the next season, and just give us such a small tease that we don't even know what's coming. I definitely want for them to at least give us the option to name our ships. I mean, it's been years already. I mean, come on, you got to bring that to the game. And nothing. I'm just hyped for what they're gonna bring because they're very creative. Like sometimes I got an idea of something I want, and they bring something different that I be like, hey, this might even be better than the idea I have. So I'm just curious. I can't wait to what they're gonna show tomorrow. Hope they show a lot because I really want to see.
Sour Blow, what would you name your ship? Just because I want to know, what would you want to name a ship if you can get it?
Well,
El Luca number 2.
well, I had a little crew. I had a crew
The
we
sinking
used to play.
Peluca.
I have a crew that we used to play, and we had a name for the ship, and the name came as funny, something funny that happened throughout the game.
Which you're sinking, right?
No. The thing is, I was the captain. His name Machetazo. Yeah, we call him Machete. He used to get like so frustrated, like when people were not moving the sails. Crazy knows him.
Yes.
And he said, he kept saying like, move the freaking sails. Like he kept yelling and he gets frustrated. So we translated that, in Spanish because he says it in Spanish. So we called ourselves the crew El Velas Malditas, which mean like kind of like the curse sails
The
damn
sails,
curse. Yeah. So
Yeah. Damn sales.
that's what we will call it, El Velas Malditas.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had the logo and everything, and it was kind of cool. I had fun.
All I do in Sea of Thieves is run around naked, pretty much.
Nope.
Because
Hey,
I love
no.
No. As your
And
lawyer,
anyway.
advise against
in
that.
the game. In the
here's my
game,
thing.
I run
Here's my
around
thing.
shirtless
No.
and I pick
Okay.
up
Not in the game,
cannonballs.
mother.
I pick
So
up.
no.
Nope.
So
Nope.
here's the thing. Bring it back. Here's what I want to see tomorrow from Sea of Thieves. I want to see, and this is my dream. One Piece would be my dream. That's not going to happen.
Oh, like
One
a
Piece, the
crossover.
anime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
That'll
the
be
One Piece.
nice. Yeah.
Or Goonies,
Goonies.
But if you're gonna
Yeah.
keep it
Hey,
Yeah.
with
you
with
guys.
with Disney, Peter Pan, and you get
Okay.
the clock, and you get the clock ticking, and every time you see it, kind of like the Kraken shows up, and you hear the clock, it'll be awesome.
Oh, Lord.
So that would be my thing. But
Uh,
Goonies, yes, but One Piece for me to be on that, that would be like the ultimate crossover.
I want more. I
feel
want more creatures other than the Kraken, and
Yeah.
I also
You want a
want
whale.
I want the Kraken to fix the loot. I mean, you kill the Kraken and that loot just sucks. It sucks. Like, so what's the purpose of you trying to even kill the Kraken?
I don't know about that. All I do
Yeah.
is run around, grab cannonballs, grab wood, and I fill the ship with cannonballs and wood. In case and I love to get into fights, blowing things up. That's what I love about that game.
Yeah, but
That's
I heard
it.
you're terrible. You're terrible at all that.
No, I'm good at that. You can ask everybody.
You know-
I'm good at that. I'm not sour blow. I don't sink ships. I don't drive the ship. because
You
I
know
don't
how
wanna
Crazy Lou plays Sea of Thieves like it's the Love Boat, and he thinks he's Leisure Suit
Yes.
Larry,
Yeah.
just
Yes. Oh,
just
yes.
going around,
Yes.
walking around, and doing nothing on the ship, and his ship just gets sunk.
Oh no! I do everything. I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. I love Sea of Thieves. Really do. I have fun with it, but especially with Captain Elving, because
Yeah.
with him, he's not so demanding. He's pretty.
But with,
yeah.
with Sour
Yeah,
Blow,
fun.
you don't even start. Your ship is gone at the beginning of
Yeah,
King's
that's
Port.
it. I mean, once he gets on, that's it. The ship sinks.
Nah,
gone.
not true. Not true.
Yeah, it is.
He
Anyway,
doesn't
we
think
should-
he just doesn't know
we
how
should
to
actually
stop.
we should actually play one day together.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, we gotta-
depending
It'll
on
be a blast.
tomorrow announcement, I need help with first doing the Captain Jack Sparrow one, which I've been trying to do,
Yeah,
and
it's so much
I
fun.
definitely want to.
So much fun. Yeah, I mean, Sea of Thieves is a really fun game. I mean, if you get
Yeah.
a crew.
Yes.
And you run around like I do. You know how I run around. I won't say it again because, as my lawyer said, I can't mention that. But that's how I run around in
Yeah,
all games, even in PUBG. I run around in my underwear to intimidate the enemy. I do that. So yeah, I love playing Sea of Thieves. I mean, it's a really fun game.
So your
Crashing
name
ships, blowing up
is
ships.
so you're Captain Underpants.
Yes, that's me. Yes, that's it.
Jesus. Yeah. No, honestly, so I don't know if everyone on here watching the show ended up watching it, jumped onto the Twitch, but we ended up doing a Friday 13th stream
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
nights ago.
Oh my
It
god!
was-
Oh,
It was an absolute train wreck because
it
of
was
how
fun.
much rust we had to kind of shake off.
yes.
But if we could get it set up, because it's 4-player max on Sea of Thieves, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 4-player.
So if you guys are up for it, because I've been away from it for a long time. If we decide that we have a night that we could do that one, I would be all for jumping on and doing a stream of Sea of Thieves. It's been a long time. I'm sure that the game has changed a lot.
A lot.
But one rule.
There's a lot of content.
Captain Underpants here
Yeah.
has clothes.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. Because we cannot get banned from the stream in the process.
No,
It's-
We don't want any
wait.
we don't want any hot tub crazy
No.
Lou.
No.
Oh man, that's it. I'm telling you, one day I'm gonna podcast in the shower. If I can buy a webcam that's waterproof, I'm gonna podcast in the shower one day talking to you.
And,
No,
and that,
no,
and
no,
that's
no,
when
no, no.
Sour Blow just disconnects you and you're gone.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
they'll
I
be
got
like,
the
that's-
controls right here.
you'll be
Oh, man.
Crazy Lou the Vanished.
the Banish.
Banished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
be
gonna be the
banished.
banished instead of me. Yeah. you're gonna take up my name tag instead. Because no one needs that. When I heard when I heard water in your chat earlier, I was concerned. But
So yeah, he called us in
Yes.
the middle of taking a shower.
No, I was not.
Yes, he
taking a
did.
shower.
He
wasn't-
did. Yes, he
I
did.
wasn't
Yes,
gonna-
you did.
Hey, hey.
Yes, you did.
you told us. You told us you did. Okay? You can't retract that now.
Oh, okay.
Like, who does that? Like we're coming on,
This
and I'm like,
is-
wait, Lou, are you calling me from? He did this morning when he texted me and he leaves a voice note, and I'm like, are you actually showering while you're talking to me? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I had hours of work before I got back to the chat that we have, and there were like, I don't know, 11 messages between all these guys. And as I'm going through them, I hear water running as Lou is going through his conversation. And I was just like, is he taking a shower?
Yeah.
And sure enough, as soon as I'm thinking that, Mr. Joanna Dark realizes it in the chat and is like, dude, are you taking a shower? What are you doing? This is how dedicated and how
I'm
crazy
sorry. I was having
Lou
an
is.
attack like in Friday the 13th. Remember with that driver in Friday the 13th couldn't drive?
Um,
I was like, sour blow. Is this sour blow?
oh my god. Oh,
But anyway, we
yeah.
probably lost all our viewers, but let's
We
get back to
lost
some
we
games.
lost some folk for that one. Yeah.
Halo. Let's talk
Okay.
about Halo.
Yes. So
Yeah,
Halo, real quick
real
before
quick,
we
yeah.
wrap things up, we wanted to touch base. So 20 million users in Halo Infinite, which is massive. Obviously, we talked about 18 million in Forza Horizon 5, which warms my heart. But for you guys, so I guess one of the questions I have is, what do you see? Like, is this going to be the peak as far as the concurrent users, as far as the active, or as far as just the overall users? Do you think we're going to see a massive leap as time goes on, as they release Season 2, stuff like that in Halo Infinite? I guess that's my biggest thing, is like 20 million is a big number for a game, especially since it just released only a little while ago, a couple months ago. What's your guys' take? Do you think it's going to continue on? We're just going to keep seeing it go, or has it peaked? What do you think?
I'm gonna hop in real quick, and I gotta say something. They confirmed for season 2 that they're gonna add credits.
Lucas.
You can earn credits via your battle pass. And the other thing I wanted to say is, have y'all played the new mode Attrition?
No.
No,
Not
none
yet.
of y'all have played it. Okay, that new mode makes me think that in the long run they are gonna add a battle royale because of some of the elements that is in the Attrition. Like you can revive towards the end, and then they have the zone where it comes in. So I think they're kind of testing the waters. So I think if they do add more modes, they add a battle royale, and they keep adding content, I think they're definitely gonna grow. I mean, remember Apex when it came out? It didn't have it wasn't the Apex we know now. They actually needed content. And so have happened with many other games. Sea of Thieves is another example. Like, Sea of Thieves came out dry. And as they had added more content and different things to it, it has grown slowly. The community has grown. And I think that's something that can also happen with Halo. And also as Xbox expands with all these different, devices, I think it's definitely going to grow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If Halo keeps putting stuff in there, they're gonna keep the numbers growing, and I just hope they keep on putting stuff in it, really, for people to sit there and enjoy it. Because really, Halo is fun. I love it to death, and yeah, I'm gonna keep on playing it. I love it.
Yeah, no, congratulations to 343
Yeah.
and the entire team, and to everyone that's joined Halo. Yeah, just like Sourblue was saying, season 2, then when co-op comes in Halo campaign, we're gonna see an uptick when it comes to people wanting completing that campaign in Legendary. And then who knows, right? We have probably maps. Maybe they introduce a new map. What if, I think we had this conversation. I had it on a couple of weeks ago, I think with Boom. What if they bring a single player campaign? What if they have something? We all heard that, they came in, they tying up the story. And maybe some of the content that was cut was stuff that was going to be there, and said, hey, maybe we can use this to kind of use it as a jump off point to give you single player content. And maybe we can see something before the end of the year right there when you want to say, hey, we want to continue to expand Halo because it's supposed to be, a live service game, a platform. Let's give you that story content. And that would be awesome to get some more story content to find out exactly, where it comes off. Maybe we play as one of the characters, so, maybe Brian the Banished storyline comes in there into place. But yeah, I really think They're going to continue to give you content and drip feed that because they want to continue to get people. And the great thing about it is, it's on Game Pass, it's on Steam, it's free to play. You can play it on your phone. So again, it's accessible anywhere you want on any device. So it's great.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much anything you have an internet connection on, you can jump onto at this point, which is ridiculous. I know we always talked way back in the day. They were joking about the idea of playing Doom on your refrigerator, stuff like that. It's quite a time that we live in as far as being able to play games anywhere.
And I think when we take out Crazy Lou and we have everyone on the map teabag them, we're gonna get 30 million. In that
yes, and get Lupa in there so we can get our teabag issue done.
Well, no, that's what it is. She's gonna come in and she's gonna basically get you back.
Okay, no problem.
So
we need to fix that issue up.
Speaking of Crazy Louie, we're gonna hit our intros. So Crazy, I want to know. Well, first off, it was great hanging out with you guys this evening. Chat, you guys were awesome. It was awesome to see so many people in here today. But Crazy, where can we find you?
Oh wait, let's go start with Sour Blow and finish with last. Yeah.
All right, Sour. Where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at Twitter, SourBlow18, and that's also my Xbox gamer tag. You can also find me in my YouTube channel, Sour Blow Gaming. It's a Spanish-speaking channel, but you can go support. And if you know anyone that, speaks Spanish, you can send them over there. It's highly appreciated. We're trying to build the Spanish community there. And one more thing I wanted to say is, as the guys had mentioned, we started doing a Twitch stream. Unfortunately, it didn't save because, Joanna, you forgot to set it up that it would stay there. So it's completely gone.
How's it my fault? Who's the one? It was your fault.
You made the Twitch. You made the Twitch account, so it's Joanna's fault. So I kind of fixed it.
You are the tech dude.
I fixed it now.
I'm gonna release the transcripts. I'm gonna release the transcripts to everyone.
He made it. But anyway,
I'm gonna transcripts.
I put it in the description, the link. I just put it now. So if you update the, if you refresh, you should see it now. I think it's Xbox_International on Twitch. So you can follow us there. We will be doing some gameplay here and there. Hopefully, we can get together, play different type of games, have fun. I had a blast with, what is it, Friday the 13th? Yeah, Friday the 13th.
He was scared.
I had to leave.
But he bought a nightlight. He has a nightlight now.
He was terrified.
Well, we had a blast.
It's behind him. The nightlights are behind him.
But anyway, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And Mr. Joanna Dark, where can everyone find you on the interwebs, on Xbox, all that fun jazz?
First, I want to say it's always a pleasure, gentlemen, to hang out with you on Wednesdays. Thank you to the chat. Thank you for putting those questions in. Please, every week, keep putting those questions in. And again, we're gonna do our best to answer them to the best of our ability. But I love those challenging questions that we can kind of sit down here and discuss together as a community. You can find me on Twitter, big_N_boss. I'm also on Tuesdays on the Xbox Factor podcast with Boom, Pong Soul, Mav, Boxenberger, and of course, Mr. Boom. And on Thursdays, I record, and then it goes Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the Nickel Gaming Show with my friend Albert and Jazz. We're just talking about Xbox, three Microsoft employees just talking about, the company we work for and the platform that we play on. And this Saturday, I will be on the Gaming Circle podcast with Kei Asante and Everborn Saga. And I cannot wait to tell Everborn, if he's watching the show, that Sonic sucks.
Oh God, drawing a line already.
You want to steal Brian's nickname?
Yeah, you're going to be the Banished.
But if you go check out the channel, it's on Saturdays, and you'll find out why I say that's to Everborn, because I don't believe Sonic sucks, because this is the way I came into the gaming world with Sega.
All right, so I'll jump in real quick so Crazy can hit the end of it.
Yes.
But real quick, so you can find me as Silent Cypher on Twitter and Xbox. I'm kind of lurking there all the time unless I'm at work. Real quick, just wanted to touch base and just say, continued shout outs for Spooky. It was awesome. He ended up coming out of his coma, and it sounds like he's on the mend, which is awesome. He came out of his coma, I feel like, just so he could be ready for the Acta Blizz situation, because it happened on the same day.
The same day.
It's so good to hear that he's on the mend. He's recovering. It's great. And, I wish him nothing but, further recovery and fast recovery. It was so good to see a video from him again. It's been weeks, and it just doesn't feel the same on Twitter without him.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a long recovery, like you said. And, I spoke to him on the side. I said, hey, when you're ready, come back. I can't wait to see you podcasting on your show. That was my show on Saturdays to listen to. And then I can't wait to hopefully he can come and grace us on XBI, and we can just sit here and talk games, and kind of, overall, I'm happy. And you know what? Thanks to everyone who sent their thoughts and prayers. And I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, 100%. Crazy. Where can we find you? Wrap this up.
Yes. So, guys, where can you find the crazy one where he can shower?
For the last time, because the assassin's gonna get you.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, why does Lupa have to come kill me? I don't know why. I keep telling myself every day, why did I do that? Really, why did I go teabag her? Because I just wanted to hear her cuss me out, which of course I love when she cuss me out, because Lupa is awesome. I love her to death. I mean, I really do. But
it ain't gonna save you.
I know it's not gonna save me. I'm gonna get my butt kicked. But yeah, I will take it because I love her. But anyways, where can you find the crazy one where he can shower, where he can dance, where he can do ninja, where he can... What else do I do? Oh, I model. Oh, yes, I have a good modeling show. You can find him at Crazy Louis Gaming Twitter. Also, you can find him here Wednesdays at 7 p.m. in Xbox International, and also in Sour Blue Gaming on Tuesdays, where we talk Spanish. Así que ya ustedes saben, hablamos español. We go over on that podcast, talk Spanish, and talk about news and what's going on in gaming lobby. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. also in Sour Blow Gaming. And also, this Sunday, I'm going to be on the Boom Boom Kaboom Show on Good Morning Xbox. And also, I'm going to be this Tuesday, which I am really excited because I can go crazy that day, right, guys? I can go all out, right? Because it's going to be Gaming After Dark on the Boom Boom Kaboom Show too. Oh, man, I'm going all out. Nobody can stop me.
And just to let you know that we do not have any affiliations with Crazy Lou or anything.
And also, as your lawyer, I'll be asleep by the time you're doing that show. So
I desire not to be associated with Crazy Lou Gaming.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys, as always, as the crazy one says, let's go, let's rock, and let's get crazy. Yes. See you all next week. Bye.
See you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time.